Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream for another great day of powerlifting. We're live from Sun City, South Africa for the 2026 IPF World Sub Junior and Junior Classic and Equipped Powerlifting Championships. Brought to you by the best in the game, Elico and SPD. My name is Alexandre Nodin, pleased to be your host today. And to my left is the coach for the Australian team, 10 years in the game, Zachary Torrevillas. How are we feeling, Zachary?
Feeling great, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We need expertise at the commentary booth. So, a quick rundown as to what's to come. We have the 43s, 47s, that's the first group, and then the 52s. We have four 53s, tight weight classes, but a clear favorite being Melissa Van from Sweden. In the 47s, it's closer for the podium, but someone is in a league of her own. Ines Serbo from France forecasted at 367.5 based on openers. That's pretty insane. For the 52s, it's a battle at the top. Based on opener, it's only 2.5 separating Pauline Varnero from France with Tallulah from GB. I think we have a good fight on our hands, Zach.
Yeah, I think it'll be excellent. These are some competitive weight classes. Like you said, they're quite tight. And yeah, we'll see if there might be any potential upsets, but we could just be playing favor for the leaders.
We've seen upsets happen before, and this is quite the trouble for most of our lifters coming to South Africa. Range of openers from 90 kilos to 130 and the 43s, 47s. First one out is the Indian Keiga with 90. Maybe a little bit too much of a fold on the way up, but three white lights, a good lift. What would you say is a good guideline for an opener, especially when you're a junior at the World Championship?
I would say even for any lifter at potentially their first world championship, take a first attempt that is very comfortable, that you'll always be confident with. Sometimes we see people get nervous on their opening attempts,
Very
especially the
much.
first squat, and that might make them nervous, or might make it slower.
Now to Ima Horn, the USA in the 47s, it's 97.5. What I've heard a lot from coaches is something you can triple. Do you think that's a good guideline for an opener?
I think that is a good guideline. Sometimes I would take something that you can even do for 4 reps.
Yeah,
It just depends how comfortable you are with your attempt jumps and what your range typically is.
yeah, very true. Very narrow stance, especially for someone with long femurs, but it works. Three white lights. Usually we see that style of squatting with short femurs, but she makes it work.
And great depth too, no questions about that.
In the 43s, we go with Amy Morissette, Canada, 100 kilos on the dot. What we usually like to see is the lifter's pre-lift routine, and we're observing if they change from attempt to attempt. Same style of squatting as Horn, but does receive a red from the front. So it would be for lack of depth. Zach, what are you thinking based on that replay?
I think that should be okay. Sometimes I find with the narrow stances, it does look a little high from the front, from the ref's perspective. But from that replay, it looks like it was a good lift. We'll see
Yeah, I
if the
would agree.
jury makes a decision.
Not much discussions happening, and usually we say when both side referees are in agreement, you should be fine. Now Zoe Shufflebotham from Canada in the 47s, opening at 100 kilos. Quite a bit of a sticking point there for Canada, 3 white lights. This typically could be first squad nerves, because I don't see 100 being challenging for her. Next up, Team Japan for the same opening weight, 100. It's Onoka Yoshida. Nice and easy, 3 white lights. The thing I'd be watching this, there's more weight on her back. Her left knee might look a little unlocked to receive the squat command. That could be an issue.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see when the weight gets heavier. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't.
Back in the 43s with Brandon Fallon, USA 107.5. Nominated first, but forecasted second as we speak. Coaches may be playing the game with fake openers, or someone has progressed too much and is going to challenge her today. Down and up, nice and easy. Four more openers to go. This one is Zanis Olvat from Hungary, 107.5. Opening very close to our personal best of 110. Very quick on the descent. 3 white lights. We'll see if that's her style of squatting or if she rushed it because it was the first squat on the international platform. Could be stressful.
Yeah, I definitely find that with opening squats, some people either take it real slow or take it a bit too fast. Sometimes it's nerves.
The thing is that first lift in each every event is kind of an introduction. Hi referees, this is how I lift. I'm gonna be like this. What are you thinking? This is why some lifters just kind of test the waters on the first squat, maybe squat a little high, see if it passes or not. Down to Platnade Odwyer from Ireland, 107.5. Drop down our opener by 2.5. I think it was was a great move because this one looks fine, nice and speedy. That opener needs to be a confidence boost too.
Always, yes. You want your opener to typically move well because you want to build some momentum through the competition. If it moves well, you can convince yourself it's moving well, and it's an easy way to tell if you have more kilos left throughout the day.
100%. You want to convince the handlers to give that ticket you've been wanting for so long. Now, Melissa Van Sweden, 115, favorite in the 43s. But favorite is just a status, it's not a title. You need to score if you want to be champion. Good speed, 3 white lights. So all of the 43s are on the board. Now into the final opener. Ines Serbo from France. Drop down her opener by 5. Interesting. Do you think it might be some sort of a wake up recomp that's taking a little too long? The travel? Or just, I'm the favorite. I don't need to push myself too much.
Yep. I typically find with an opener drop, it's usually just a recomp thing, just trying to find your groove, and you don't want to like make the first squat more difficult than it has to be. Like we were just saying, like we don't want the first squat to feel like you're nervous. Just want to have some good moving squats, and that way the rest of the competition you can make some moves.
Yeah, and based on where she is in terms of nominations, she's her own enemy, so might as well drop down the opener. That looks nice. 2-1, the first red for lack of depth coming from the side. We've seen one from the front, but that's the first from the side. So this angle does receive a white. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's about on the line. Sometimes these squats look a bit borderline, as we know, longer femored people tend to look like they squat higher.
And jury's overruled the previous lift. It is a no lift for lack of depth for Ines Serbo. So we're missing the favorite in the 47s. Every other opener have been scored, so some are going to increment. Would you bump up the attempt for Ines, or would you go for a retake?
I think at this point I would do the retake. She is pretty clear in the field at the moment.
Yep. And as we speak, we have the Indian struggling on the platform. She fails to score at 95. A 5 kg jump on a 90 squat can make a world of a difference.
Yeah, especially in these lighter weight class. 5 kilos is a big percentage of your body weight and
Yeah.
your total.
I like the fact that you're talking about percentage because people used to think about kilos as kilos, but 5 on a 200 or 5 on a 90, that's not the same thing at all.
Exactly, yeah.
Emma Horn, USA, 102.5. That's a provisional squat silver in the 47s. Keep in mind that Ines Herbo is yet to score. See, a 5 does change a whole lot of things. A 3 white light still, but much slower. I think nowhere else to go than a 2.5 there, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you just want to take the kilos that you can get, especially with some of the fields being a little bit tighter. That 2.5 kilos can go a long way.
And what would make you scratch the third? Have you ever done that?
Personally, as a lifter, I haven't, and as a coach, I believe I've only done it once, and that's typically because the lifter presents on their second attempt that it was way too hard, like it looked like a third attempt, and you'd rather just save the energy for your bench press or your deadlift.
Now, Amy Morissette, Canada, also jumping 5 from 100 to 105. To the 1, the same exact ruling as our opener. And in terms of bar positioning, I think this is about as low as you can get with the new rules.
Yeah, I believe so. The rule change has made some lifters have to adjust where the bar can be. But of course, it'll look different on other lifters. People like taller people, it'll look
Yep.
like it can go lower. With shorter people, sometimes it'll look like it can't go as low.
Yeah, the thing is, you really don't want to look too tilted because you're not going to get the squat command.
Exactly.
Now Zoe Shufflebotham, Canada, following the same game plan as her teammate in the 43s from 100 to 105. Provisional squat silver in the weight class. Interesting. I don't think we saw that one coming, Zach.
I don't think so. Her opener from memory moved quite comfortable, not
Yeah,
hard.
we thought it was just a little bit of squat nerve. We saw a sticking point, but nothing that would have made us thought that she would have completely stalled midway up.
Well, they'll be able to come out and retake that on their third, and hopefully she'll be able to fight through that sticking point.
Now a bigger jump. It's 10%. Onoka Yoshida from Japan going from 100 to 110. And it looks just about as speedy as the opener. 3 white lights.
Yeah, that was the biggest jump of our squat attempt so far, and it looked like it was the right one.
And if everyone is successful, she would still hold on to a squat medal by the end of the round. So nicely played by Onoka Yoshida from Japan. Back in the 43s we go with Sanet Horvat, Hungary, 112.5. She's aiming at a personal best of 2.5 in this round. Still looking good, 3 white lights. A personal best has been scored. The thing is, you could think that she has a lot more in the tank, but with that fast descent, you add another 2.5 and she could stay at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. The difference between a fast descent and a slow descent can sometimes be that with the fast one, you catch the bounce a little bit too heavy, and the bar positioning might change, you lose your balance, and that's the risk that you take. But
Yeah.
if you feel strong doing that, then go ahead.
Yeah, but you don't want to change your technique on the day, sort of tempo your final attempt when you've been dive bombing the first two. Down to Brandon Fallon, USA, 115, jump of 7.5. Provisional squat silver in the 43s. Unfortunately, no unanimous lack of depth there.
And with a 3 red ruling, you can't go to the jury for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair call based
Yeah.
on the replay. It's not egregious, but it's high and perceivable from all 3 angles. Down to Platmeda Odwire Island, 115. Provisional squat gold in the 47s with Ines Elbow yet to be on the board. Interesting style with the knees opening up somewhat abruptly at the bottom, but it works. 3 white lights. She leads the 47s. It looks like we already have a world junior record attempt. It's coming from Melissa Van, the Swedish, in the 43s. And she's not just looking to chip the record, because the current record is 121. It was established last year in San Jose, Costa Rica by Marit Fuentes, the Mexican. So 2 kilos above the world record for the Swedish. Usually we would look for world records to be chipped. She feels like she's much stronger than that. Zach, I think this is why you just chip it, and it's very rare that Team Sweden misses a call like that. Very,
Yes.
very rare.
Very rare, yes. The Team Sweden, as we know, is very precise with their
Absolutely.
calls, and they know their lifters well. Yeah, I feel like at times taking that small chip is usually best, especially when you are the favorite and you don't want to try and fall behind throughout the rest of the
Yeah,
competition.
being the favorite and having a shot at the history books, you just chip it. Come on. Now you're in trouble. You're only 1 for 2. You're gonna have to retake a record. It's gonna play with your head too.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
smell trouble.
We'll see if that comes back around by the end of the competition.
Yep. Final attempt of the second round. Unfortunately, Ines Serbo's opener has been overturned by the jury. Just needs a little more depth. Not much, but she needs to convince all of the refs on the platform. No need to send that to the jury. Looks a little better from afar. How about from closer up? 3 white lights. The favorite is on the board.
And that's why you take an easy opener, something that's comfortable. Because as you can see, she scored it deep. It was also fast.
Yep.
And
And had she kept that 135, it could have been different.
exactly.
And 130 is sufficient enough to guarantee yourself a squat on the board and squat gold already in the 47s. That is quite comfortable.
Very comfortable. And now she's in control of the competition. She's on the board, and she can just take whatever she wants.
And it looks like we have a fight for medals in the 43s and a fight for silver and bronze in the 47s. We're starting off the round with the retake from the second. It's Skeya Kunal from India with 95. And back-to-back misses. She's 1 for 3 in the squat event. Of course, this is unfortunate, but that's also experience. She was nominated with 100. She lost 10 based on her nominations, but you're a junior, you're traveling from India to South Africa. Lessons to be learned there.
Yeah, sometimes the lifters come in with a bit of travel fatigue. I know that for the Australian lifters, we did recommend them to arrive 5 to 6 days earlier.
Yeah, that would make sense. So, of course, sacrifices, finances too.
That's right.
If you want to perform to the best of your abilities, that would help. So we shuffle both of them. Canada retaking 105 just could not surpass their sticking points during the second round. Completely loses it at the bottom. You can see her rolling her eyes like, what did I do there? But it happens sometimes. Your legs are not as strong as you would have wished. 1 for 3, she's still able to register a total and move on in the competition.
Great reactions by our spotters as well. They've been taking care of our lifters really well so far through the equipped and sub-junior portions of the event.
Yeah, they've had to catch 400 squats. Come on, we can trust these guys. Now 105, a final jump of 2.5 for Emma Horn, USA. Not overreaching for a medal, just trying to take what she has on the day. I mean, it's not there on the day, but she took the smallest jump possible, so it's okay, I would say.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, she only loses 2.5
Yeah.
off of that. So rather than trying to grind out an extra 5 or 7 kilos, you make the smart play.
Now, linear game plan for Morissette Canada, going back to back with the fives. That's 110. It's also a provisional bronze medal. Stay stuck at the bottom, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem too phased about it.
yeah,
Lifter's all
not too
smiles.
phased.
So it's also different. If the lifter comes out, is almost ashamed of failing, the coach's pep talk needs to be different than when the lifter comes out all smiles like, whatever happened.
Yeah, some lifters come out and If they miss their lift, yeah, they can just be not too bad. It's not the end of the world, as we know, because with the squat, there's still 2 more lifts to do. You have to look
Absolutely.
forward.
Now Brandon Fallon retaking 115th for a guaranteed medal. Just like depth last time around. She went up with the weight once, just need like 3 to 4 more centimeters at the bottom. Head nods, what about the refs? They're giving her 3 whites, and that's a momentum shifter. When you miss it in the second, gets it in the third, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely a good feeling. You've proved to yourself and your coaches that you're capable, and now you're back in the game. Your position in the fight for the podium is much better.
Yeah, forecasted second as we speak, provisional squat silver. And our next lifter, Horvat, is the only one that can steal that medal from her and drop her down to bronze. So they went with the 5, trusting the speed on the descent. We'll see how that goes.
Great fight there.
3 white lights. Thought it was a gutsy move, but it was the right one. Four more squats to go in this group before we move straight into the 52s. This one is Platnate Oldwire Island, 117.5. This is to extend provisional silver, but not yet guaranteed because Yoshida has body weight advantage against Oldwire.
And that's why having that body weight advantage can come in handy in a lot of ways for both individual lift medals
Yep.
and for the total.
As the level goes up, lot number and body weight become more and more important. That would have been an aggressive and impressive grind, but it's not there on the day. No lift. She's still in silver, but to be surpassed by Onoka Yoshida if successful with that same attempt. But she took a 10 kg jump. Now she's adding another 7.5. This will be a personal best of that same amount, 7.5. So quite the achievement on the world stage for Onoka if successful.
Yeah, I think for anyone, 7.5 kilo PB is quite commendable.
I would take that on my total, Zach.
Yeah, I definitely would too.
Just give me a 2.5 on each lift and I'm fine. Great attempt selection, saving some gas with bigger jump than the others. 3 white lights and squat silver going to Japan and Yoshida.
Yeah, really good attempt selection by the Japanese here. We typically see them make some good decisions too. And yeah, even though she started off squats towards the bottom, she took a 17.5 kilo spread,
Yeah.
which is quite big for these weight
Yeah,
classes.
that's quite the increment on a lightweight squat. Now onto a retake from the second round. A world record attempt for Melissa Van, Sweden. What are the odds that she can correct what happened? She scored 115, was super comfortable, very snappy, nice and fast. Jumped to 123, did not ship the world record with 121.5. Now you need to prove that this was the right move, because you can lose out on a whole lot of kilos and the record books.
This could be a great momentum builder for her for the rest of the day.
It looks different. How about the lights? Yep, double reds for lack of depth and one blue for downwards movement. Unfortunately, Melissa Van loses out on the world record. Of course, hindsight is 2020, but I think we both would have gone for that 121.5.
Definitely.
Maybe,
Sometimes,
maybe training indicated the 130. I don't know, but this is the world stage. This is a world record, and you're in the lead.
yeah, you just need to take your minimum amount And especially when you are nominated in that lead, you only need to take those smaller chips because that will definitely come into play later on.
Final score for this group is Ines Herbeau, France, going for 137.5, so jumping 7.5, and this is just 2.5 above her initial opener. So not the best of days, but she doesn't need more.
Yeah,
Just cruising.
yeah, cruising right now. Definitely still in the lead very comfortably off the projected totals. So just take the jump that you can get and just make sure you can make the lift.
So supposedly it should be easy because she's nominated with 150. Depth looks fine, good speed. As we said, just cruising, 3 white lights, and of course the gold medal in the squad event for Herbeau.
Congratulations.
So the only real hiccup in that squat session is Melissa Van not scoring the world title and losing out on that squat gold. She's in silver with 115. It's Zanet Holvan from Hungary with 117.5 that's collecting gold. Interesting, and completing that podium is Brennan Fallon from the USA. In the 47s, it's O'Dwyer with 115, 117.5 in silver for Yoshida, of course gold for Herbeau. Time for the 52s. We have openers ranging from 95 to 155. That's quite the range for one weight class.
Yeah, big range. Often you'll see some of the lifters come in not as experienced as others. Potentially, Francesca, this might be her first world championship. I'm unsure. But for the others, you can definitely see the experience that they built.
Oh yeah, Calenta opening with 95. That is super snappy. Just warming up on the platform. 3 white lights, a good lift. But you're right, and one thing to take account for is also that it might be a 4-year spread in terms of training between someone that's fresh out the sub juniors and someone that's on their final year as a junior. In 4 years of training, that's 100 kgs on the total.
Yeah, I would love to put 100 kilos on my total in 4 years.
Well, when you were a sub junior, you did that. Come on.
I never competed in powerlifting as a sub junior. I started second year junior, maybe.
Okay. Now, Dolina Boca, Canada, 100 kilos. She was born in 2007, and the oldest are born in 2003. Solid opener, 3 whites.
Mijn laatste route is 150 on the rope. After 11 threes. So all the way.
And Team Canada on the women's side, they do have a few stars now. It's a team to be reckoned with.
For sure. And over the last couple of years across Open, Sub Junior, and Junior, they've had some excellent teams come out and put on great performances across all weight classes.
Now Team Greece and Anna Motsopoulou, 115. So in this group, it's a little easier to follow. It's only 52s. Looks snappy. How about depth? Yep, I think we saw that one from afar. Double reds. Just a little too high.
2.5 on the rope. So 150 asphalt.
One white from the side, so the jury will have a look at it, but
Would you go to the jury for each split decision, or would you like choose your battles?
I would typically choose my battles. Sometimes, if from the coach's box, it might be very obvious of what it would be, but if it's something that looks a little bit iffy or you're unsure, it's good to know what the jury is looking at
Yeah.
and find out.
And sometimes you don't go to contest, you go to kind of just understand, get the memo.
Yeah. Especially with some of these new rule changes that we may see in the bench press
Yeah.
coming up.
Ceylon Kyu, Hong Kong, 122.5. Brought to the platform by the very experienced Rory Lynch. That's good company. 3 white lights, a solid opener.
1.5 on the rope. With silver forward. 150.
Yeah, no technical weakness or breakdowns on the replay. It looks perfect.
Definitely a good opener, confidence builder, like we were talking about earlier. And now you just get to play what you see.
Now back-to-back openers at 125, Norway and GB. It's Sogal first.
A little bit more of a high bar squat there.
Yep. But it can make for a very predictable and grindy squat too.
It can. I feel like most of the squats here we've seen have been low bar squats, typically what you'd
Yeah.
see for powerlifting.
So same weight for Abby Cooley, Great Britain. Well, that seems like lightweight, at least walking out. Lightweight indeed.
I feel often you can tell when a lifter is confident with the attempt, with the way they unrack it. If it looks easy, it's bound to be an easy attempt.
And I feel like as a coach, you would also look at the body language of your athlete, right?
Of course, when they're going onto the platform or as they're coming off, what that typically tells me is how big we might be able to jump. If they come off the platform not looking too impressed about it, I will always take the safer attempt.
Okay. Lola Cherami, USA, 135. Just nominated outside the podium in sixth, but it's very tight from third to seventh, pretty much. Double reds, it's not unusual for a wider squat stance to receive reds. It's more difficult to judge depth. Do you think it's maybe a little too high? I think I could argue for that squat.
You could argue for it, and at times we'll see these wider squats be overturned. Either way, it just really depends on what the platform refs see. Sometimes the squat comes out a little bit faster. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think jury sent the coach away. They seem to indicate that it was just parallel, slightly above depth. But it was easy. I think in that case, you slightly bump up the attempt, maybe a little five, just to
Yeah,
not not lose too much ground.
yeah. Potentially in that instance, because it was very easy, you can take a 5 kilo jump, not lose too much ground. You don't want to take a massive jump later on and have it bite you.
And in the meantime, we have a very easy, not too light, just good, well-rounded technique, everything on point.
Great positioning there.
Now onto the favorite of the day, leading the charge on nominated total. Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain, opening at 150. Nominated squat 154. What is that about? What has happened in the gym?
So potentially, if we're opening up only 4 kilos below our nominated, the training must be going really well. And that could
Yeah,
indicate to me that we have something like 160 to 165 on the cards.
and I think that confirms it. Three white lights, a good lift. I would not be surprised by a 57 or 60 in the second round.
Yep, I definitely think that would be the correct range. You are also fighting for a squat podium spot, so you just need to keep an eye on what the other lifters do, but make sure you make an attempt. That is definitely be hittable.
Now onto our direct contender, nominated second, Pauline Varnereau from France, opening at 152.5. Good depth, good speed. 2 to 1, a good lift of Varnereau. I know it's about where you finish, not where you start, but do you think opening 2.5 above your direct opponent gives you a mental edge?
I believe it can. Some lifters will see that you're opening towards the end, and it's like, all right, cool. I'm one of the stronger ones today. But as we know, after an opener, sometimes the lifts get a bit slower, and then by the time deadlifts roll around, you might never know what is going to happen.
Yeah, so you still believe in applying pressure.
Of course, yes.
Final opener, Elisa Messiano, Italy, one of the 5 favorites for squat gold and a podium contender for sure. She's opening at 155.
They did bump their opener up 5 kilos, so she must be feeling very good.
Yep. Nominated squat is 161. We're pretty close. That's 3 white lights, a good lift. We've known Italy to be aggressive with the openers, but that was not egregiously difficult. That's a very reasonable opener.
I would think so too, and we all know that as we've seen most Italian squatters, they can grind out a squat too. So
Yeah.
whatever they decide to load up for the second and third will probably be the best option.
As of right now, we're missing Shirami and Motsuplu, both for depth, and by the looks of it, they have both opted to retake their opener, going with the safe route.
Yep, the safe route often might be the best. They do have some strong deadlifts as well, so they might just be saving some energy for that.
105, a jump of 10 for Francesca Marie Calonta, Ireland. So more than 10% actually. A little bit of a funky walkout. But doesn't change the lift. It's super easy. However, we missed the command.
I
Coach
think
cannot
that's
believe it.
I think that's just nerves. I don't think she can believe it too. The squat stumble might have just thrown her off, and she was just like, "I just need to get this weight up." But it moved very comfortable.
It did, but it's still a jump of 10. I don't think you bump up the attempt.
No, you don't have to. Being one of the earlier lifters in the flight, you just want to make sure you can secure the biggest total that you can, and sometimes that just means re-attempting the weight.
Down to Dorina Boca, Canada, 107.5. Nice and control, very tidy second. 3 white lights for Canada. Now I would understand if coach was hesitant between 2.5 and 5 with that squat.
Yeah, at times you will, again, as we mentioned before with the percentages, take the safer route. And this is when it comes down to coaching expertise. If you know your lifter can grind out a squat and it won't affect them later on in the day, you can play a bit more aggressive. But if your job is to secure the PB total or the squat PR, you can just take that smaller jump.
And I would argue too that you need a lifter that's strong in the head to allow yourself to take the risk of a 5. Because losing an attempt for some lifters is terrible and some are pretty unfazed and they can move on quickly.
Yep, as we know, powerlifting is quite a mental sport too,
Yeah.
and it can challenge you, but also helps you grow, and which is why we love being involved in it.
And we'll come back to that because I have a question for you, but for now it's Motsupulo who's retaking 115. Does that look better in terms of depth? Apparently it does, but we have triple blues. Could that be downward movement or lack of lockout? Maybe both?
Yeah, I believe that would be more a little bit of a downward. We might see it on this replay.
Yeah, it's pretty clear to see, unfortunately. So she's 0 for 2 so far. I think 115 is gonna come up again.
Yep.
But my question for you would be, do you consider powerlifting as an extreme sport?
I would say extreme in the sense that you are putting a lot of weight in your hands or on your back. Um, the extremeness also comes down to the mentality too. You have to really believe in yourself to move these weights. And for anyone to get onto a platform is like bravery in itself. And to be able to put on a show for people and do these at the World Championships
Yeah,
is also very impressive.
because it can kind of feel like you versus the world on that platform out there. Say long Q, Hong Kong 127.5, jump at 5, very asymmetrical on the way up. 3 white lights still, but not the tidiest second attempt.
Yep, not the tidiest, but some lifters lift like that, and as long as it meets the referee standards, it's all good.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It just needs to fit the rulebook. Abby Cooley jumping fight to 130 kilos. She's one of those lifters in the middle of the pack, trailing the podium by 15. She needs to collect kilos if she wants to force an opportunity by the end of the day.
I find being in the middle of the pack quite interesting because you're looking ahead and you're looking back, and for the coaches, it's your job to make sure you put that lifter in the best possible position at the end of the day.
Three white
Yeah,
lights.
three white lights. It's a very stimulating position to be in
Change over for Canada.
because you can go up and down three positions with one lift pretty much. Now to Team Norway and Christian Solem Sogard.
Samar,
It's
Norway.
132.5, jump of 7.5. Lovely second from Team Norway there. Three white lights.
29 hot. Agree.
That looked only a touch slower than her opener, which is good signs for the coach. I think they'll look to take a nice solid jump there.
Yeah, but looks can be deceiving too, because some squatters are fast until they completely stall.
Marcus Williams.
You don't necessarily decelerate until you're like capped out.
Exactly. Every lifter has their own different sticking points, and that's why we see some lifters being able to grind out bigger lifts, and some just aren't able to.
135 for Jeremy, a retake from the first round. Got a double red call for lack of depth. How about this one, Zach? Three whites.
3 white hot.
Look
Agree.
deeper, definitely looked more
152 for
convincing
Marcus.
from
Competition
for the
complete.
refs, so they must be a bit more confident in that.
Yeah, and it was a slight adjustment too. Did not try to go ATG with it, just made a slight adjustment in scores, and now it's up to
Marcus
the coaches to
Williams.
see, do we go for the planned second, the third, or the sweet spot in the middle? Onto a jump of 5, 142.5 for Lisa Eisler, Germany. The fourth, the biggest squad of the weight class, with the top three being in a league of their own.
Yeah, often at these junior world championships, you'll see a upper echelon of lifters who are very experienced, and then a bunch of other lifters who, as we said before, first time international competition, here to have fun, build some experiences, and make friends.
I mean, squatting that fast on the world stage seems fun. Three white lights, a good
3
lift.
white hot. Agree.
She looks happy with that, smiling as she walks off the platform.
We have three more attempts in this round, all three shooting for squat gold. And we're gonna have two attempts at the world record already in the second round.
Yeah, that's exciting. That goes to show the growth of this weight class if there's multiple people vying for a world record.
But first off, shooting for squat gold and a personal best of 3.5 is Tallulah with 157.5. Not as sound, technically speaking, but it goes up. Three white lights, a new personal best for Tallulah. She's over her nominated squad, and that's a very dangerous Tallulah.
Good signs that you're hitting weights above your nominated. It goes to show that you are making some progress in your training and that you are in a position to get on a podium of some kind.
Now, back-to-back attempts at the world junior squat record. Current record is 160. So Pauline Varneroy is going for 160.5.
Junior squad world record.
The record belongs to the world-renowned Tiffany Chavon, established in 2022. Yeah, she did compete as a 52 here.
Yeah,
It
one time.
happened.
Yeah, a while ago.
So for provisional squat gold and the world record, Pauline Varnereau from France. A world record that looks like a proper second, 2 to 1. A good lift for Varnereau.
Our longer second with 161 on the bar bench for Lisa
Now, of course, with
Miciano
one
of
red, the
Italy.
jury is going to pay
The
close
final
attention to it. It is a
is
world record after all.
Varnereau.
It needs to be perfect.
Yeah, want to make sure it's to the best standard possible.
One more round.
Jury seems happy with it, so we now focus on Elisa Miziano, Italy, trying to retake that
Lisa
record.
Miciano of Italy.
Imagine just snagging a world record and it only stands for 1 minute. That is heartbreaking, but even though Miziano might take that record, she still collects a chip, which is a good strategical advantage. So 161 for Miziano, back-to-back world record attempts. That's exactly our nominated squat, something she's done in the past. But we're producing it with the travel. With what's at stake here on the world stage might be a little difference. We'll see, but our opener looked very convincing. World record attempt for Elisa Miziano. Very segmented, but 3 white lights, a new world record for Elisa Miziano in Italy. Who do you think has the most amount of wiggle room between Miziano, Varnereau, and Tallulah?
I would say would be Tallulah, followed by Vanero and then Misiano. Misiano's squat did have a couple of sticking points there, but as we know, the Italians can grind, so that's a skill that is very, very valuable with these big squats.
So as of right now, in bronze is Tallulah. Silver with a world record that lasted for 1 minute, Varnereau, and Miziano in gold. Time for the third attempts. We're starting off with Francesca Marigalonta, who after missing the squat command still decided to bump up her attempt by 5. So it's either she gets a plus 15 or loses out on 15. The coach's nightmare.
Can be missing on a command.
All smiles as she locks it out. 2 to 1, a good lift. What a way to trust your lifter too. Like, you bump up 10, she misses the command, you still trust her with a plus 5 and she scores. That's chemistry bonus.
Definitely, and she definitely seems very happy about it. Doesn't lose out on the 15 kilos that could have been. So yeah, so, and sometimes you just have to challenge your lift to be like, hey, you might have missed the command, but it moved great. We'll go up anyway.
Now Dorina Boca, Canada, 112.5. Not aiming to match her personal best, she's 2.5 below.
Canada is a pretty far travel to Sun City.
It really is. It's just so close, but not there on the day. 112 would have been there, 112.5 isn't. But this is also why in training you usually microload the 47s, 43s, 52s, because 2.5 is a lot, as we've alluded to before.
Yeah, 2.5 would be about 5% of a 50 kilo lifter's body weight.
Now a critical lift, Zach. We've got Anna Motsopoulou from Greece. Is a third time the charm for 115. The first time around was lack of depth. Second time, that was movement. Let's just not miss the command so everything is in order, you know?
Exactly. And on that second attempt, she did make it deeper. She just has to find that groove and hit the squat.
Yeah, strength, not an issue. Just find that sweet spot. From afar, it looks like her opener. How about the lights? 2-1, a good lift. So, of course, we're going to be paying close attention to that replay. Jury's going to need to be unanimous if they want to intervene. It is borderline, Zach.
It is. And at times, the nerves can just come into play on these squats.
And jury's overruled it. Unfortunately, Motsupulu is not going to be able to register a total in the competition. Greek coach not happy, rushing to the jury, but it's been overruled. Nothing he can do now. For us, it is time to focus on Lung Kyu Tsi, Hong Kong, 130 kilos. Going with the 2.5 after a grindy second. If it's a little less asymmetrical, it might be easier. It is indeed faster. 3 white lights, much better from Team Hong Kong.
Yep. Laughing as she comes up, knowing that she found the spot a lot better. Moved much better than her second attempt.
Down to Abby Cooley, Great Britain 135, back to back with the jumps of 5. Some lifters do like that linear game plan.
How do you prefer to take your jumps?
I would rather take a big one from the first to the second and then reduce the jump, but it kind of comes down to personal preferences too and what you're used to doing in training. Some lifters are quote unquote afraid of big jumps. It seems like a perfectly selected third to me. 3 white lights and 3 for 3 in the squat event for Abby Cooley.
It's always nice to go 3 for 3 on squats.
In the 140s, we go with Solgaard from Norway. Also a linear game plan, but bigger jumps, 7.5 times 2. It would be the 5th biggest squat of the weight class. Wow,
Great fight.
great way to stay with it. However, lack of depth. It was a close call. It could have gone either way.
Definitely. And with one ref giving a white,
And the
gives
thing
them
is,
a
that white
chance.
comes from the replay angle, so that could turn out in her favor. And they're giving it to her. It's a good lift for Norway, 3 for 3. Now to Xiaomi, who had to retake her opener. She's now jumping 7.5. In my opinion, it's either the planned second or 2.5 above it. Just need to maintain the standard she's established in the second round, and it should be fine. Looks like she narrowed her stance just a little.
Just a touch.
1 red for depth and 1 blue. That would be for downwards movement, probably.
Yeah, I think at the hole, she nudges it a little there. It doesn't look like it goes down too obviously, but we'll see what the jury decides.
In my opinion, it looks fine in terms of depth. I don't know about the blue, but one of the members of the jury disagrees, so no agreement, no overturn. Lisa Eisler, Germany, 1 final jump of 2.5. Still looking speedy. 3 whites for Eisler.
Yeah, they only opted for the 2.5 kilo jump there. Sometimes that's just enough for the lifter to be like, all right, I'm going to go out there and make it move better to
Yep.
show my coach that I had more.
Now to the three squat machines, GB France and Italy, Tallulah, Pauline and Elisa. First of which is Tallulah for a new personal best of 2.5 with 160. Just 1 kg off the current record. Very tempoed at the bottom. And it made for double reds. No lift for lack of depth for
Second
Tallulah.
showdown for the junior world
And coach
record
is
with
immediately sent away. I think they
163 on the
picked on
bar
it
for
live.
Pauline
It's going to be a
Varno
no
from
lift.
France and 163.5 for
But she
Elisa
still improved her
Miziano.
nominated
Full
squat. So
round
a
of
very
applause.
dangerous and dominant Tallulah.
Yeah, she is nominated second at the moment, so 2.5
Squad is
might make a
low.
difference, might not, but at
Pauline
the end of the day,
Varno,
you just need to be able to lift more.
163 kilos
Yeah, and to
for
keep that
the
forecasted
junior
position,
world
Pauline
record.
Varneau needs to score
Behind
2.5
Elisa.
more than her second, 163 for the world record. Nominated squat is 162.5, but adding 500 gram to reach that world record is not an easy task for anyone. Same ruling as our previous squat, 2 to 1, a good lift, new world record for Pauline Varneau and provisional
Now,
squat gold.
Chesapeake
But
Italy,
it's Team Italy that will get the
163.5
final
to get
say
there.
with Elisa Miziano,
Lisa Miziano,
163.5.
proceeding with her squad
You thought that
record.
Miziano had the least amount of room.
I
Italy seems to disagree.
And if they prove me wrong, I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Oh, we've been proven wrong before. Don't
And the
worry.
bar is loaded for
And it's also the thing, like,
153.
when it's a world record, a final squat, lifters can find another gear. They know they're shooting for gold. They know they're shooting for the record. Going 3 for 3. That's 3 good reasons to squat that weight. Elisa Miziano for the world junior record at 163.5.
Bravo.
She might have lost it at the top. I don't know. But the suspense chief referee does not know what to press. Waiting, the
Ladies
suspense
and
is
gentlemen,
intense for
this
Elisa
match
Miziano.
has
3
been
whites,
decided.
new world
Silver
record.
bracket goes to
Heartbreak for Vanero, who had to break the world
Chesapeake
record
Italy.
twice, but is not gonna walk away with
Congratulations
it.
for the
Look at the standings.
2023
In bronze with
world record.
157.5, it's Tallulah. In silver with what was the world record for 1 minute at 163, Vanero from France. And with 163.5, Elisa Messiano is your squat gold medalist and the new world record holder. Quick look at the projected total. Still Vanero in the lead, but it's super tight at the top between Tallulah and Vanero. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes time for bench press. See you then. And just like that, we are back in action live from Sun City, South Africa for the 2026 IPF World Sub Junior and Junior Classic and Equipped Powerlifting Championships. An eventful squat session in the 43s, 47s, and 52s. We've lost a lifter in the 52s, being the Greek lifter. We've seen back to back world record attempts, with Team Italy walking away with the new record in the 63s. Now, look at the openers for the bench in the 43s and 47s. They're going to go from 47.5 to 85, just double up on the first opener.
Yeah, often a big spread sometimes with these benches.
First one out is Keya Kunal, Team India with 47.5. Could only manage one squat at 90 kilos. Just a perfect opener, three whites. Would you say your guidelines for openers are different in the bench press than in the squat, or it's about the same?
I personally would take it about the same. Although the first squat may get most of the nerves out of the way, for some benchers, especially your strong ones, when that might carry your total, they might be more nervous about that. But some of these lifters where the bench is not carrying their total,
Yeah.
they're a little bit more cruisy, and I will take just some like regular jumps there.
Okay. Now to the squat gold medalist of the 43s, Sanet Olvat, Hungary, opening at 52.5. And I'm seeing one thing I personally don't like, but I want your opinion on it, is shock on the glutes.
Yeah, it's like something that gives the refs an indicator that, okay, I'm worrying about this. You almost want to hide things from the ref at times, so
Yes.
that way they don't. It's not more obvious of what you are trying to compensate for.
Yeah, now you're just highlighting something. But three whites, she solidifies an opener. And the thing is, it really doesn't provide support. It's just placebo. But placebo works too, so I'm a bit conflicted about it, but I still think that I'd rather just not go with that.
Yeah.
Now, Melissa Van, unfortunately, 1 for 3 in the squat, losing out on the world record. Missed 123 twice. She's opening at 52.5. Still in the lead and forecasted with a 10 kg gap over Fallon. But mentally, where are we is the question.
I think dropping the bench opener is just a way to build confidence back in through the rest of the competition, making sure you can take the appropriate weights so that way you can build and keep securing the total that you want to do.
And we're seeing a yellow coming from the left hand side. Could that be the glutes or the heels, maybe? I think it's for the glutes. And I'm fully expecting the jury to intervene. And yes, they have no lift once again for Melissa Van. She's 1 for 4.
Yeah, not quite her day so far. Projected first and the favorite, but sometimes those technical faults can come around. So hopefully she can clean that up on the next one.
Now in the 47s, Onoka Yoshida, Japan, opening at 52.5 after getting squat silver with 117.5. Three white lights, a good lift.
As we know, the Japanese typically with very strong bench presses, and they just love their bench press.
Yeah, very specific techniques. They even have a grip that's called jab grip because it's Japanese grip. So maybe we should learn a thing or two from them. No.
Definitely can. I've tried it before. My fingers can't quite get around it.
Next up is Zoe Shufflebotham, Canada, 55 kilos. Opting to go with blocks. You have 4 sizes of blocks. You pick and choose which one suits you best. no lift, unfortunately. Triple yellows.
Yeah, it's a little too heavy there.
Something isn't quite right with Zoe. She only scored one squat. Fair's her opener.
The bar is loaded.
Maybe we're gonna change the size of the block. 'Cause it doesn't seem like the leg drive is completely efficient.
Yeah. Sometimes with the block sizes, you gotta find the right one. Sometimes even just a centimeter or an inch makes a big change to how you feel your leg drive. So hopefully they'll adjust.
Same opening weight for a Mahorn USA.
If you want to
This one goes through. 3 white lights.
57.5 for Juan Olivares of Ireland, followed by Taylor from the 46. The bar is loaded.
And next up is 57.5 for O'Dwyer out of Ireland. Squat bronze medalist in the 47s. Strong leg drive. 3 white lights. No loss of
57.5 for Luke.
contact.
60 kilos on the bar for
Very
Denmark.
fast attempts
Luke
too. I
Smith,
do enjoy
followed by
seeing people
Alexander
take
Hardy.
very fast bench attempts. But as we were saying before,
The bar
with
is
bench,
loaded.
some people might just look like this and then it just stops all of a sudden.
Brendan Fallon, USA, 60 kilos in the 43s. At first, we would have thought that she would have been in contention for silver with Horvat, but it seems like it's a 3-way battle for the title now between Van Fallon and Horvat.
Yeah, with only 10 kilos separating them, it could play out to be very interesting. So these bench kilos will be very crucial.
Yeah, 3 whites, and when some are retaking, the others are
57
incrementing.
for 46 of Canada, followed by Elbow from Connecticut.
Next up
The
is
bar is
Amy
loaded.
Morissette, Canada, 65 kilos. She would still have bench press gold by the end of the second round if successful.
Very easy 1.5 times body
The
weight
bar
bench.
is up to 80. 85.1
And
for
such
Van
refined
Fallon
technique too.
of Connecticut of Ireland.
The widest grip you can get, still manages to get proper elbow depth. Just a lovely, lovely bench.
Yeah. As the youngest
The bar is
43
loaded.
kilo lifter, she definitely looks much more mature in her lifting for her age.
Now the final opener in a class of her own, 85 kilos for Ines Serbo. But bench really being her strong suit. She's competed multiple times in bench only competitions. She's a double threat. In full classic powerlifting, she's extra strong. In bench only, she's extra strong. 47s, 52s, she's everywhere. And she's on the board, 3 whites.
88.5 for Luke. 66 on the bar for Alexander Garcia, followed by Brendan.
Seeing a good range of bench openers here. I think that everyone has played their cards correctly. Sometimes after big third attempt squats, people's benches might drop a little.
The
Um,
bar is
that's
loaded.
why you want to take a more comfortable bench, and in my experience with Australia's team at least.
But we're missing Van in the 43s and Shuffle both in the 47s. Both have opted to retake. I think it's the smartest choice to go. I would comprehend a bump up in the squat, much less in the bench press. Now Banerjee India, jump of 2.5, that does not go through. Just like in the squat, she scores her opener, misses her second.
200,
Yeah.
50.5 on the bar.
Sometimes the lifters might want to open up heavier than they
The
would
bar is
expect
loaded.
to, but sometimes that can come around and it results in some heavier lifts. Some lifters are okay with missing 2 lifts though.
I think you've seen it before. Some juniors and sub juniors want to open heavier because they seem to think that if I open at this amount of weight, I can finish there. No, opening heavier does not guarantee you're gonna finish any higher up.
Yeah. We enjoy the optimism though, and that's the beauty of powerlifting. You get to look forward to things you want to try and do.
Now the retake that we're waiting for, Melissa Van, Sweden, struggling today. 52.5. Forecasted in the lead, 10 kgs over Orvat and 5 kgs over Fallon. But the gap is reducing. She has a very slim margin of error now.
Bar
The
is
second
loaded.
retake that we were expecting is Zoe Schoffer-Botham, Canada, 55 kilos. Seems like a strength issue. Now we've just got the blocks away, no blocks.
Oh, using the same blocks still. I think she's opting for a handout on this one though. I'm unsure if she got a handout on the first attempt.
Yeah, I thought they would have changed the blocks or just completely get rid of them, but seems like they're keeping the same. We saw a real issue with leg drive last time around. Maybe it was just positioning. I smell trouble, Zach. I don't know what's going on. Did the bar dip? I don't think it did. I might have one blue coming from the left hand side for downwards movement, and one yellow that might be for loss of contact on the other side. Quick check at that split view. Ah, that's
The bar is
that's a
loaded.
tough
Hard
call.
to tell.
Yeah, jury is in agreement with our refs on the platform. That is no lift for Zoe Schaffer-Botham. That's a fight to try and lock out that 55. She's gonna be in trouble. Now is not the time to get. Now is not the time to get in your head. Just have a chat with your coach. Try to find solutions.
Yeah, unsure what they might be able to change on that next one.
Sanet Holvad, Hungary, 57.5, jump in 5. And she guarantees herself minimum bench press bronze.
So let's see that on the bench. Now we have 4 MO1s. Could the team director please come to the technical control? The bar is loaded. Team director, please to the technical control.
Now Onoka Yoshida, Japan, 57.5. Best provisional bench press silver in the 47s.
Three white lights, a good
3 white
lift.
lights, a good
Please look at
lift.
the
That
bar.
is provisional
Good
silver in the
lift.
47s.
Nice. The bar is loaded.
And the bar is already loaded for Emma Horn, USA, 60 kilos. She's jumping 5. Very popular opener in the weight class. Jump, not opener, excuse me. I'm losing my language here.
It's been a long week already.
So to retake, provisional bench press silver over Yoshida. No
Please
lift,
hold the bar.
double yellows.
Please repeat from final score.
Usually that's the glutes leaving the bench.
The bar is currently reset. The bar is loaded.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear to see here, Zach.
Yep. Definitely with that, this particular angle there, you can see a lot of the daylight coming through. That definitely does help the camera and the jury make their decisions.
Now Blatnade O'Dwyer Island 62.5. Also shooting for bench press silver, because gold is guaranteed to go to elbow. Three white lights, and we now know that this is guaranteed silver because Yoshida has put in 60 kilos, just like Orn. So no one is going to try and overtake. Guaranteed silver for Ireland. Not too bad for the athlete forecasted in second position in the 47. She's collected bronze in the squat, now silver in the bench press. Talk about having a good day. Now in the 43s, Brendan Fallon, USA 65 kilos. This matches Morissette, but she's heavier, so that's provisional silver. Chest up all the way through. Nice
The white
attempt.
light, the blue.
2 for 2.
Please look at the bar. Motion has cleared up. The
I would
bar is
definitely call
loaded.
that a smooth looking second attempt with room for more.
But is room
The bar is
2.5 or
loaded.
5?
I think 2.5 is the safer call here. A lot of these lifters have been taking 5 into a 2.5 jump, so wouldn't be surprised if they take that smaller range.
Now to extend gold and to guarantee yourself gold even. Amy Morissette, Canada, 70 kilos. The best bencher of the weight class being the lightest is not a usual sight.
Still moving very, very easy as well.
Three white lights, the
Yeah,
blue.
3 white lights and a gold medal going to
Silver for
Canada.
bronze in elbow and arms or Lebanese category.
Now we get to close out the second round with Ines Elbow on cruise control, shooting for 90 in the second
The
round,
bar
jumping
is
for 5.
loaded.
This would be an equal PB based off of her nominated.
I mean, when you're a junior 47 and you see the Open 47 champion come out and the previous world champion come out, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna come second or third, but it's whatever. 3 white
Three
lights,
white lights, the
and
blue.
even though she's not having the best of days,
Please
she's
repeat those
very
from
far in the
final
lead.
score. The bar has
Very much
loaded.
so. And sometimes it's nice to be so comfortably far in front. Some lifters can get complacent with that sometimes, but Inez looks like she's definitely in control right now.
And I don't think she's the type to get
The bar
complacent.
is loaded.
It's more so that she has to go from prep to prep because she's top of the class with Tiffany Chapon in the 47s in France. Then she went to Euros. Now she's here at juniors. So it's difficult to go from prep to prep and keep that same level. So sometimes you have to pick your battles and not peak as much for one. Kia Kunal retaking 50. This time it goes up. 3 white
Three
lights.
white lights, the
Yeah,
blue.
much better than her second attempt. Maybe just a loss of technical position on that second attempt.
You need this to stay in the competition to get a total.
Next up, on the verge of bombing out, Zoe Shufflebotham from Canada. Could not
The bar
manage
is loaded.
55 in the
Count,
first
you got
round.
this.
Two technical errors in the
Come
second round, but it
on.
did go up.
Number 3.
When there's a will, there's a way, but it's not gonna be easy for the Canadian.
Electing to not use the blocks this time around.
See, I thought that could be a solution, but because that bench pad is very welcoming, you can kind of tuck in your shoulders and your scapulas as much as you want. The floor is pretty creepy. No lift. Unfortunately, Zoe Shufflebotham is out of the race. She won't be able to register a total in the competition, but she's still able to compete for a deadlift medal if she wishes to.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the reality of these world championships.
The bar is loaded.
Things happen. It's important that for her, when she comes out for her deadlift to continue the competition, she just has her best shot at doing some lifting. Can still go for that deadlift medal, like you said.
Yeah, and that's solid experience. 3 deadlifts on the world stage. If there's anything to correct, those refs will let you know. Down to Melissa Van, Sweden, 57.5, jumping 5. She's had to retake her opener for the glutes leaving the bench. Let's see what it looks like. 5 more kilos. Nice, 3 wides. She wasn't in contention for bench press medals, but those 5s are very handy. That subtotal improved by 5 is
The
comfortable
bar
going
is
into
loaded.
deadlifts.
Yeah. And now she's kind of like built up her lead again on the projected. So hopefully those 5 kilos do make a difference in helping her secure her world championship.
Sanet Horvat, Hungary, guaranteed bronze medal in the bench press already. She's looking to improve by 2.5. Looks like it was right on the money. 2-1. A good lift. The first red for elbow depth. Very difficult to see from the sides though.
Yes, very tricky. Even as a coach from the coach's box, sometimes you can't tell. I'm a ref myself, and oftentimes I find it hard to judge the elbow depth too.
Now already walking up to the bar is Emma Horn, USA, 60 kilos, a retake from the second attempt. Was double yellows last time around, so not the easiest thing to correct on the day, but we've seen it happen. It sure looks different. And it's 3 white sack.
Yeah, great composure to change that. You often find some lifters either fade under pressure or they'll rise to the challenge. And at these world championships, more often than not, you'll see people rise to that challenge.
Onoka Yoshida, Japan, 60 kilos, jump of 2.5 for that same amount of a personal best. I think she lost it at the bottom there, Zach.
Sometimes those longer press commands do make you think a little bit longer. That extra half second does make a big difference.
Last attempt to change overs.
We've got 4 more bench presses to go before we jump into the 52s.
The bar is
This one is
loaded.
65 for Udwire in Ireland. Guaranteed silver already in the 47s. To the one, a good lift, aggressive leg drive once again, but this time a yellow coming from the
Zero
left hand
point
side.
0.5% elbow.
Yeah, sometimes these thrusty leg drives do make it seem a little bit
The
more
bar is
obvious that something
loaded.
might
No more
happen,
changes.
but
But I
seems
don't think the
okay.
glutes have over the bench.
I would agree.
It's our ref that's being blinded by the media team's light. Now 67.5 for Brendan Fallon, USA. Jumping 2.5. But 2.5 could be very important to separate second to third or maybe first.
That is no
No lift,
glute
unfortunately.
hamstring current drop, so the ref has given that
But she
for
took the
effort.
smallest jump possible, so not really losing on anything.
The bar is loaded.
Penultimate opener with Amy Morissette, Canada, 72.5.
And as you alluded to previously, Emmy is the lightest of the 43s, but has the biggest bench. Definitely very uncommon.
That's bragging rights there, for sure. A little too heavy, but 70 is still the biggest bench press of the
50-pound
43s.
bar by Wolf France for the bench press title.
Now onto the ultimate attempt. A guaranteed goal from the opener for Ines Arbo France, looking to improve by 2.5.
The bar is loaded.
Just cool, calm, and collected.
Generally see a lot more of a calm demeanor for bench press. People don't get as hyped as compared to the squat and the deadlift.
Looks like a third should, however, double infractions,
138.
double blues, and one
57.5 elbow
yellow.
is the final
So blues for
score.
Darwa's movement, and probably yellows for glutes.
The split view definitely giving us the chance to see everything happen.
If Darwa's movement is there, it's very subtle.
The
Yeah,
bar
very
is
subtle.
loaded.
The refs and the jury are obviously more experienced than us and have the view.
But regardless, she walks away with gold, and she has very high chances at sweeping the gold today. And without further ado, we jump into the 52s, openers ranging from 57.5 to 92.5. First nation out is Ireland with Kalonta, who kept us on our toes during squats.
Hopefully she doesn't keep her coach on her toes again during the bench press.
Seems like a solid start. Three
Heavy
whites.
right line saluted. 62.5 on bar for Wolf
Is
France.
that a sigh of relief from the coach?
I definitely think
58.3.
so. Sometimes the lifters just look like they're having a lot of fun. Maybe they've made some little inside jokes about
The
hitting
bar
certain
is
lifts.
loaded.
But she's definitely on the board, so she's just going to keep enjoying her day.
And that's what it comes down to. Come on, you have to enjoy the sport. Lola Cherami, USA, 62.5. She was nominated 6th, but at the moment she's forecasted 8th. Some costly mistakes in the squat,
Three right
but
line
a solid
saluted.
opener, 3 whites.
60.5 on bar for Anna Mousseau-Rodriguez for the bench crew in Bogota.
Yeah, we'll see if she can catch up on some of those kilos through
The
her bench
bar is
press.
loaded.
They do look very fast, so they're probably going to look to take a 5 kilo jump.
Next lifter out representing Greece is Anna Mutsupoulou. Unfortunately, she did bomb out in the squat sack.
Yes, but she is still able to continue her journey through this competition. Just get that comp experience, double check to see if the refs see anything that they may need to work on in the future.
And interestingly enough, they haven't lowered the bench opener. Usually you see that because you need to lower the intensity for the lifter to catch some momentum back, but they haven't.
Yep, and not uncommon for a lifter to continue to
This
go
is
out
a
on their
medium,
shield and just put up their
70.5
best.
on the bar, and it will be a third base followed by butterfly. Thanks.
A yellow maybe for glutes right when getting that command. Thing is, you don't have the sound of the command on the
The
replay,
bar is
so
loading.
that could go either way. Abby Cooley, Great Britain, 72.5. Dropped down opener by 5.
Yeah, perhaps Cooley just deciding to play her position and just takes things that are again comfortable. Um, Currently projected 7th, so see if she can maintain that position.
Yeah, great looking opener. 3
Three
whites.
white lines, a good one. 72.5 on the bar.
She's gonna need to go back to back with the
And
jumps
open.
of 5 if she wants to score a personal
Bar is
best.
loading.
Now, same opening weight for Dorina Boca, Canada. It's 72.5. She also dropped down an opener, but by 2.5.
Three
Solid
white
opener,
lines, a
3
good one.
whites.
75 on the bar.
Seems wise decisions by both consecutive coach and athlete teams to drop their openers, just taking lifts that will be very comfortable, they'll be happy about, and provide some smiles as they decide to take their next attempts.
But also sometimes when you tell your lifter, I'm
Bar
gonna
is
lower your
loading.
opener, it makes them zone out. So you don't want to take that risk too. Like, you don't want to reduce the confidence they have in them. So it's a difficult choice to make.
It can be, and if you have a great relationship with the lifter, whether they're your own personal athlete or maybe you're working with them for the first time, it's important to establish that communication and rhythm, making sure that, hey, I want to change the opener in your best interest
Yeah.
to make sure that you succeed.
Long Kiu, Hong Kong, 75. Took some precious seconds to discuss how she would love her handoff to be.
I do find every athlete has a different way of wanting their handout.
Not the easiest
Three
opener
white
we've seen
lines, a
so
good
far,
one.
that's for sure, but 3 white
82.5,
lights.
followed by open. Followed by 5
Yep. We did see her second squat be a little bit
Bar is
unorthodox,
loading.
but she came out and fixed it up. So potentially the same thing from this opener.
Now the forecasted first and silver medalist of the squat event, Pauline Varnereau, opening at 80 kilos.
Three white
3
lines,
white
a good
lights,
one.
great way to start the bench press event.
Andrea, followed by Natalia in Germany. The bar is
Next
loading.
up is Team Germany with Lisa Eisler, 85 as an opener when her PB is registered to be 87.5. Seems like she wants a personal best for her final outing as a junior lifter. That was super easy, Zach.
Yes,
With white
definitely
tracks,
plausible that she
the
will
light
beat
blue,
her current competition
followed by
best.
rose
Potentially,
and
she had already hit 90 kilos in
the
training,
bar
Seems
giving
is
them the
likely.
loaded.
confidence.
I don't see her jumping only 2.5 to match her PB. I think it's going to be a 5 in a personal best on the second.
Definitely. And it looks like she'll be able to take a good size PB today.
Now into the title contender, Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain, opening at 85. A bronze medal in the personal best in the squat with 157.5. She's opening 7.5 shy of her PB bench.
Verderop wordt dit
Is that a yellow for a skipped command?
I think so. Yes, the head ref just signaling to the jury that it was for the press command, I
Yeah,
think.
and the jury's overruled it.
De bar is loaded. Weer gaat
Still a
over
very fast opener though.
157.
At times, with those kinds of lifts, you can still elect to take the small jump up. But with crucial kilos, since she's one of the title contenders, it's
Yeah,
it's just something that the coaches have to decide.
but especially since it was super easy and she's in the race for the title, I would minimum 2.5, probably maximum 5. Yeah, they're going with a 5. The tickets came in. Now to Elisa Misiano, also in the race, 90 kilos. Three whites, very optimized technique, just where you would want it in terms of elbow depth. That's perfect.
Yep, don't have to go much deeper than you need to. And looks like she's perfected this art over
De
a
bar
lot
is
of
loaded.
practice of benching.
And the final and heaviest opener, 92.5 for Christian Solheim Solgaard, the Norwegian. Finished 5th in the squad event with 140 and very high chances at a bench press gold. Was that a false start at the bottom?
I think so. Just being a little jumpy with that command, something that I've done myself before, and sometimes you just want to just press that bar off your chest.
Is that survival instincts kicking in?
I think so. Oftentimes, well, when that one time it happened to me,
De
I
bar is
think I was just
loaded.
like, I think the ref's gonna give me the command now. Just anticipated it wrong, but her opener was very fast. I wouldn't be surprised if they too take a 2.5 or 5 kilo jump.
Yeah, it seems like they've heard you. They are taking the 2.5s. Now into the second round with Team Ireland, 62.5 for Kalunta. Three white lights and two for two so far. Match
55
personal
grams
best.
material of Greece representing Greece.
Yeah. Team Ireland putting on a great performance so far. Their lifters hitting a lot of their lifts.
De bar is loaded.
Now Greece with Anna, 65. Just taking it attempts by attempts, trying to get some on the board after a difficult squad event. That looked like a loss of control as the bar reached the chest, no lift.
Nog een 4 meter.
It's
Dit
also
gaat
like
de start apart.
motivation is
Eerst
almost gone.
de
You're not
4
gonna fight as much as you would have if you had scored 2 or 3 of your squats. Of course, it's different now.
Yeah, still very
bar is
commendable for
loaded.
lifters to continue on with their competition. Like are training your muscles for this sport, but as we alluded to before, training your mind, your mentality to be able to push through the hard stuff. So this is good practice, more experience building, and I'm sure that she'll come out as a much stronger lifter after this event.
Yeah, of course, emotional arousal is a huge component to performance. Now Lola Cherami, USA, 67.5. A successful jump of
Thank you,
5,
Mike.
3
Thank you.
whites.
Time to final round of IBK basic. Lola Marquez Bota. The bar is
Great
loaded.
Britain back out there with Abby Cooley, 75 kilos, jump of 2.5. 3 white lights, a good
Three
lift for
white
Cooley.
lights. Good. Entering the final batch is Siciliano Castro, followed by Bernardo. The bar is loaded.
As you can see, it was a little bit of a different bench pressing technique there, almost a two movement, and sometimes that helps the lifter find their scapula position before they continue their descent and control their touch point on the chest a lot more.
And when you're not the coach of the lifter, but just the handler for the team, how confident are you to approach technical subjects? Do you give cues or anything? It must be a sensitive subject.
It can be. I will always ask the lifter what their cues are, and in the lead up to the event, maybe ask for some videos to see how they move. That way, when I see them on the day, I'm not surprised by what happens.
Now Long QC Hong Kong, 77.5. Opener was difficult, and the second is even more difficult. However, it goes up 3 whites,
Three white lights. A good
and she
performance.
still seems to be having a whole lot of fun.
Final batch.
Some
Lola
lifters just
Marquez.
love the performance. I personally enjoy
The
it when
bar
I'm
is
on the
loaded.
platform. Every lift that you go out for, it's just like any sport. Like you want to make sure you're having the most fun out there.
Yeah, you don't want to shy away from the hard stuff as a powerlifter.
No, it's meant to be hard.
Dorina Boko, Canada, 77.5.
3 white lights. A good
3 white lights,
final
successful
round of
jump of 5.
IBK max,
She would need another
followed by
5 if she wants
Bota.
to match her personal best. It seems like quite the stretch, especially considering she hasn't had the best day on
The
squats.
bar is loaded.
But sometimes it's just one of the movement that did not peak correctly, but the other twos are fine.
Yep, and that's where the nuance of the training comes down to. Some people may not show up as well for a squat on a competition day. Sometimes just because the squat is the first lift of the day, you need to get those nerves out of the way too, and then you build that confidence through the other two.
Now Pauline Varnero, France, 85, a jump of 5 to match her PB. Proper
Three
second,
white
3
lights. A good
whites.
90 kilos plus. Elisa Heine from Germany. Lola in the final.
She's forecasted in the lead with 4:15.5 over Tallulah, but Tallulah is yet to have a
The
bench
bar
on
is
the board.
loaded.
Next lifter out is Eisler from Germany, 90 kilos for provisional bench press silver.
You can see Lisa getting a little bit more hyped up for this one, approaching something that is a PB.
to 1, a good lift. 1 a yellow, probably for glutes. We saw movement, but we're gonna have that side replay angle to confirm it's movement, but I don't think it left the bench. So she should be fine with that new personal best of hers. Now Tallulah Roston, Great Britain, 90 kilos. Failed to wait for the command with 85, still moved up 5 kilos.
Very easy.
Yeah, 3 whites.
Right now, Tallulah.
Yep, and at times when you know you're in the race to put up a big total or get onto that podium, part of sport is taking the risk
Yeah.
of taking those extra kilos
The
because
bar
that
is
first
lower.
attempt was not a lift on a technical fault rather than just missing a command. You can often back a lifter to make up that ground.
And the final, no, the penultimate attempt is 95 for Elsa Misiano. She wants to extend gold. She would be matched by Solgard if successful, but Solgard is heavier. A little bit of a shift to the right side, but is that a dip? Whoa.
By the enforcement
And
of
there's your
movement,
rainbow, 1 yellow, 1 red, and 1 blue. So red for elbow depth, glutes for any sort
the
of
bar
lifting,
is
might be the
lower.
heels or the glutes, and blues for downwards movements. The downwards I can argue against because I feel like it's more like a shift. Elbow depth is questionable. I think it's too many infractions. You
Yeah.
need to correct that. Had it been a 2-1, I don't think she would have been able to get it overturned anyways.
Yeah, not often you see the rainbow occur either. It just means that from all the different positions, the refs are seeing whatever they are seeing.
Christian Solheim, 95 after failing 92.5. No
If
lift
you
taken
are
on
in
whites.
position
It's a
to
good lift.
stand on the board with bench,
Yeah. Again, they played the card of going up slightly from the missed
hold on
opener.
please.
So yeah, they secure their kilos and they don't fall behind much more.
And we have a very tight bench press podium. With 90
The
in
bar is
bronze, it's
lower.
Tallulah. With 90 in silver, it's Misiano. And with 95 in gold, it's Sogard. Time for the third. They're going to go from 65 to 100 kilos.
Yep, always very cool seeing these lighter weight classes aim for that 100 kilo milestone. A very coveted number for anyone really in powerlifting.
Let's see the retake at 65 for Anna Mutsupru. To the 1, a
Keep it
good
on
lift.
good
Seems like
lift.
the change of handler has reignited the fire. She's all smiles as she walks off the platform.
Led by Jen Freeman.
We can see
The
our
bar
side
is
ref
lower.
really getting involved with the lift. Love that.
Good to see that they change their angle sometimes. You know, sometimes you just need that slight change of head position to make sure you make the right call.
Now to Kalanta Island, 67.5. Personal best of 5 if successful.
Opting for the double 5 kilo jump.
I think we saw that before arriving to the chest, something went wrong. That was going to be a no lift.
Yeah, a lot of elbow positioning or some leg drive as it kind of like rested on the chest. Yeah,
The
just a
bar
bit
is
hard of a
lower.
position to overcome.
Now to Jeremy, USA, 70 kilos for a personal best of 2.5. solid bench press event from Jeremy. 2 to 1, a good
Moving
lift.
to round
Looks
three.
like a 3 for 3 in the bench press event. Forecasted 6 now. She climbed back 2 positions on the forecast.
Yep, and that's why you want to really just secure those kilos, because if someone does
And the
miss,
jury has
then you
overruled
could
their
be
verdict.
chasing an extra 2.5 or
The
5.
bar is
And as we
loaded.
say that, the jury overrules the lift for Jeremy. She loses out on 2.5 because the glutes did in fact leave the bench. Abby Cooley, Great Britain, 77.5. Quite a bit below her personal best, but you have to adapt to what you have on the day.
Yeah, perhaps just not as energized after the squat event. She did drop her opener from her initial nominated one.
Nicely done. 3 whites, and this is why you
Jury has
adapt.
lost a booth.
I think that sometimes coming in with
18% is the
expectations
loss.
is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, because as the day evolves,
The bar is
the
loaded.
competition transforms, the numbers on the board change. What's nominated isn't always going to be the end result, because in sport, as we see, those underdogs appear. And you never know when you might be the underdog.
Leon Cutesy, Hong Kong, 80 kilos. Very entertaining lifter to watch, very energetic, enjoying herself out there. If she manages 80 kilos after how scrappy 75 and 77.5 have been, that'd be very impressive. But with how unpredictable she's been, it might be the easiest of her attempts. That's a collapse, but usually you want to stay with the bar.
Moving to round number 82.5 on the bar. Jury number 21 has
So of
called
course the
timeout.
jury is going to tell it, please stay with the bar
Yeah,
next time, but normal bench press for today.
yeah. Just a little bit of a warning. Sometimes lifters just panic a little
The
bit, like
bar is
touches their
loaded.
chest, they forget, and in a state of panic, you just like
Yeah, no
let
bad
go.
intentions behind
Yeah.
it, of course. Doina Boca, Canada, 82.5. She is indeed going back to back with the fives to try and match her personal best. It stalls midway up. Unfortunately, I don't think he was gonna be there for Doina. No, it's not. No lift.
Yeah, potentially feeling good initially with the extra 5 kilo jump. Potentially 2.5 was the call that could have secured it.
Yeah,
As you can see, it gets halfway up, just loses a little bit of
The bar
power
is
towards the top.
loaded.
and as she fails, she drops down to ninth position on the forecast. Now walking up to the bar is Pauline Varnereau from France, shooting for a 6 for 6. 87.5 is her final attempt. It would be her personal best of 2.5. Unfortunately, it's not there on the day. Now, Team France is going to be paying close attention to the final attempt of Tallulah. And then they're going to have to play the game. Do you change the deadlift opener to have the upper hand? Who has body weight? Who has lot number? It's going to come down to this
The
between
bar
these
is
two nations.
loaded.
It'll be a very exciting finish
Powerlifting
for
round.
this particular weight class. They're only 2 kilos
The jury
separated right now, and like you said, whoever has the lot number advantage will just have to play that opener change.
Yeah,
It'll be very exciting.
but they are delivering the battle we were expecting for sure. Lisa Eisler, Germany, 92.5. Already PR'd her bench at 90. Let's see if 2.5 is squeezable. Unfortunately, the answer is no,
Unfortunately, it's
but
sorry for
already a
that.
personal best on the world stage. Anyone would take that.
Waiting for permission from the bar. The bar is loaded
Now to
from
try and rearrange the medal positions and to pull away from Vanero, Tallulah, Royston, Battaglia, Great Britain.
Let's go.
A jump of 2.5 for provisional silver. And Singing Pauline missed as added the extra fuel she needed to.
Securing some kilos that are valuable.
Oh, watch out though for the replay. Yes, the glutes have left the bench. No lift jury overrules for Tallulah. So they are indeed going to be neck and neck. Separated by 0.5 as we speak. The two having won 67.5 as their deadlift opener. We'll keep that in mind and we'll keep you posted when they're going to be back out there. Penultimate bench press attempt, Elisa Misiano, Italy, shooting for gold with 95. The rainbow last time around, how about this time? Ah, double yellows for the glutes probably, and one red for elbow depth. Nothing you can do there.
100 kilos is
She's
the
gonna be in
maximum
bench press
for
silver
the
with
bar is
90
loaded.
kilos and forecasted 5th in the
As
weight
the goal
class.
is the 100
Yeah,
kilo
and in
deadlift.
this weight class as well, it'll be a big fight for that third place podium
Absolutely.
too, with
The 100
3
kilo
to
deadlift.
5 positions being only
Come in.
6.5 kilos apart.
Yes, Solgal, Heisler, Misiano, all of them contenders for that podium spot. And talking about Solgal, she closes out the bench press event with 100 match PB attempts. She already has guaranteed gold. Very important fives there for the podium. And it's not there on the day. A missed opportunity because now Heisler is back in forecasted third. She drops down to fourth.
7 minutes to get your
Now, what do? Do we change the opener again? Strategical calls need to be made. It's 10 minutes to think about it, start warming up, discuss with the lifter. Quick recap of the bench press medal in bronze. Tallulah from GB with 90, with the same best attempt but lighter on body weight, Elisa Misiano from Italy. And in gold, Christian Solheim Sogard from Norway. Quick look at the subtotals. Provisional bronze is Tallulah, provisional gold is Misiano, and in between the two is Varnero. All of that is subject to change with the deadlift openers. Look at the projected totals. When Misiano is leading on subtotal, she's forecasted 5th. So of course, those deadlifts are going to be extra important, Zach.
Yeah, very much so. We'll see which lifters take the bigger deadlift jumps, try to catch up on some ground. With only 4 kilos separating Heisler and Misiano, you'll never know what's going to happen. A 5 kilo deadlift opener bump might make a big difference.
Exciting times ahead. We'll be back in about 8 minutes time for deadlifts. See you then. And just like that, the break and the wait is over. Your favorite show is on. It is time for deadlifts here in Sun City, South Africa at the 2026 IPF World Sub Junior and Junior Classic and Equipped Powerlifting Championships. Zachary Torrevilla still to my left to kind of help me get around that session, see what's happening. So far, it's been fantastic. In the 52s, projected in the lead is Vanero, trailed by Tallulah. In the 47s, Elbow in the lead by quite the margin, but behind her, a battle for vice champion between Odwyer and Horn. Even closer in the 43s. They are forecasted at 302, 305, and 310 for the podium. Everything can go right or wrong for everyone in the 43s. First one out is Amy Morissette, Canada, 107.5, and the final opener is 152.5 with Ines Serbo. That's as easy as it gets for a first attempt. 3 whites, she secures a total.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to all the battles for these podium positions. It's quite close, closer than the initial projected.
Yes.
The bar is loaded.
The first 47 to open is Zoe Shufflebotham, unfortunately unable to score a bench, so no total, but still able to compete for a deadlift medal. Even though it seems like a stretch, she lowered her opener by 7.5. Three whites just to get one on the board and to see if motivation is coming back. I see a smell, which is good.
Yeah, sometimes the lifters just need a couple of minutes to recompose themselves after what transpired, and then they just have to realize, hey, I'm still here. I'm still one of the strongest in the world if I'm here, and I'm just going to go out and have a good day.
Yeah, you need short-term memory if you're a powerlifter.
Yeah, good to be a goldfish sometimes.
Honoka Yoshida, Japan, 122.5, forecasted fourth, but on par with Emma Horn. It could very much come down to body weight for the podium. Three white lights, a good lift.
Very fast opener. Definitely good to see the opener so far being nice and speedy. Deadlifts, the lifters will opt to take some bigger jumps than what we saw in the squat and the bench. So I'm interested to see what they do decide to select.
And you've mentioned this before, but deadlifts is really the event in which you see lifters come out more and more energized as the attempts go on. So do not really trust the speed of the opener because it doesn't make any sense. They're gonna come more amped up for the second and even more for the third.
Yep. That third deadlift is always the one that everyone looks forward to. It's where it makes or breaks a competition, the total, the day, and it makes for a very exciting finish.
Brennan Fallon, USA, 125. Speedy off the floor, but a difficult lockout for Fallon.
125 sharp and
That's
125
three
medium
whites,
for
but
O'Dwyer.
like we said, let's
The
not
bar is loaded.
overthink the opener.
Yeah. Don't want to overthink the opener. Deadlifts are I would say, the most easiest lift, technicality wise. There's only one command, there's only a couple things you
Yeah,
need to do.
less variables, you would say.
Yeah.
Now, Stanis Horvat, Hungary, also opening at 125. Well, that was quick.
O'Dwyer has contributed to 125 in the second. O'Dwyer of Ireland, followed by Fallon.
Yeah, the deadlift event always runs a little bit faster. The loads change much easier, no rack heights to adjust. I always find the deadlifts more enjoyable because there's more action happening at all times.
What do you think is
The
the
bar is
sweet spot
loaded.
for a lifter of that frame, of that weight class, in terms of group? Like, is it 6, 8, 10, 12 lifters?
I would say for a fast event, 8 is usually good, 10 is okay. By the time third deadlifts roll around, those bar brushes do tend to slow it down. So I find that 8 is usually my sweet spot.
Flatnet Odwyer, 47, 125. Very speedy. 3 whites, one to secure the total.
135
Forecasted third in the 47s.
The bar is loaded.
And we're staying in the 47s with Emma Horn, USA 135.
Always like seeing everyone's deadlift ritual as well. Everyone's got something a little bit different.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw a little bit of a false start at the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes the lifter might just not get those feet in the right spot, or a little bit too close to the bar, a little bit far away. It did make for a stickier start,
The
but
bar
she
is
did lock it
loaded.
out. Potentially something to correct on the next attempt.
Now to someone who's had an up and down day, to say the least, Melissa Van, Sweden. 115, 1 for 3 in the squat, still good enough for silver. 57.5 in the bench, and a 7.5. 3 white lights. She's in the lead at 310, but she's gonna be pushed, and that wasn't expected.
Yeah, potentially this is her lift, and she'll look to take those bigger jumps that we discussed earlier to try and create that spread to kind of fend off the other lifters.
2 more openers to go, both in the 47s. We've got Banerjee and Herbo. It's 137.5 for the Indian. That is one sticky lockout for an opener, 2 to 1, a good lift, 1 red for lack of lockout coming from the front. That is quite surprising.
Yeah, it looked locked out, I would say, from our angle. Our replay angle will give us a good view of this.
The thing is, with the new rules, the shoulders just need to be behind the imaginary projection of the bar. Seems to be the case on that angle. She should be fine.
Yep.
Now into the final opener. I think this one already seals the deal for the world title. Ines Herbo, France, 152.5. This would give her 380. It also probably seals the deal for deadlift gold. That was clean from Herbo. She keeps adding on to her resume. She's young and she has a whole lot on good lift already.
Yeah. Definitely a very tidy and strong resume. That good lift profile always looks good when there's a lot of input there.
There's multiple goals over there now. So that is the end of the first round. Everyone has scored. Let's see who can increment. We're going to see a lot of 7.5, a few 10s. We'll see how that goes. Amy Morissette goes first. 115. Oh, it's the grip that gives upon the bar. No lift.
Yeah, bit of a slip on that left side to start. I always find that with the mixed grip, it can create some friction on the hands.
But the thing is, she has most of her hand on the smooth part of the bar, which is not favorable for grip.
Yeah, that knurling is there for a reason. It's sometimes nice to utilize it. Some lifters just have great grip strength in general. But even for these lifters in these lightweight classes, gripping that wide can sometimes feel a little bit awkward.
Now it is 122.5, a big jump of 12.5 for Zoe. Shuffle both them. Struggled in the bench, but it seems like she's able to put her best foot forward in the deadlift event.
132.5 USA
Yeah, comfortable 12 kilo jump there.
Back in the 43s with 132.5 for Brandon Fallon, USA, to try and go from deadlift bronze to silver and to overtake Melissa Van. easiest of lockouts. Does it meet the standards? Yes, it does. 2 to 1. A good lift. So as of right now, Brennan Fallon is over Melissa Van. And one thing I don't really like is that Team Sweden has put in a 10 kg jump instead of putting just what they need. Even though our opener was lightning fast, we're now playing for the total and the position. It's interesting to say the least.
It can be interesting. Some coaching teams enjoy and are confident in being more aggressive, just trying to separate themselves from the pack. Other coaching teams will play a safer route.
Ooh, a hiccup, a lockout for Team Hungary. Horvat missing her second attempt. She will stay in third, but she's now forecasted fourth. It seems like a stretch because Morissette has missed her second on grip, and she's asking for 127.5. So supposedly, Horvat will stay in third. But 2 days ago, we had a Mexican who failed 277.5 on grip, asked for 290 and got it. So let's not count Morissette out yet. And the 47s, O'Dwyer Island, 132.5. Second in the weight class, fourth in the deadlift event. To the 1, a good lift, a blue that would probably be for supporting on the thighs. It seems like more of a struggle than a support, but what are we thinking, Zach?
Definitely think more of a struggle than a support. You'd really have to see those knees kind of re-bend to look like the lifter's trying to gain some support, but that looks mostly fine.
Now a big jump, that is interesting. Onoka Yoshida, Japan, going from 122.5 to 135, a plus 12.
Yeah, very big jump, and it does end up putting her into projected third.
Yeah, with a leap of faith, they are taking a big jump now to try and force another pull out of the others. That could make sense when you're an outsider.
Yep. Always fun to be part of the chase, and with these other coaches maybe trying to look at other spots, these lifters towards the end of the pack often can make some surprises.
Or a grip issue, because it seemed to start very nicely. It was speedy until the bar left the right hand. And once again, there's a part, most of that hand is on the smooth part of the bar.
The bar is loaded.
Yeah, it looks like it just slips out. Yeah, as you mentioned, the smooth part of the bar could just mean you get some extra torque on, or you have to adjust the grip. But it can be hard to do that, especially with just one more deadlift coming
The,
out.
when you look at your hand and you just went through that, it feels like your body's betraying you. You look at your hand like, come on, hold on.
The
Now,
hand
an
needs a bit of.
interesting jump. Zach, do you think she missed the minutes? She only taken a 2.5 from 137.5 to 140.
Oh, knock it out.
Or maybe it was just the appropriate jump. 3 white
Eight
lines. She holds
knockouts
on
away.
to
Nice
provisional
work.
deadlift silver.
Yeah,
Good.
whether intentional or by accident,
The bar
it
is
was the
loaded.
right number, and she was able to secure a second deadlift, which is awesome to see.
And our next lifter out is going for that same attempt, but she's heavier, so she would be in provisional deadlift bronze. I would not love to be a referee for this one. You have double blues and one white. That is for downwards movements. Might have locked out those knees a little early.
Yeah, just a fraction of a downward movement. It does make for an unfortunate result, but she gets another attempt to try and tidy it up.
Now onto a critical attempt. A make or break deadlift. Melissa Van, Sweden, has decided to disregard competition and
The
jump
bar is
10.
loaded.
It's the type of move. If it's successful, you say, yeah, genius. She ran her own race, all good. But if she misses, they're going to think about this one for a long time. and she secures it. 3 white knights. She's back where she belongs in first position overall, and Brennan Fallon is announcing 137.5 for the third round. Looks like she wants to cover the eventful Orvat Summit because she missed her second, but she can
The
succeed
bar
in
is
the third.
loaded.
She's looking in the mirrors rather than looking ahead.
Yeah, important to look both ways, especially when your second place is up for grabs. Um, for as a coach, I find that if the gold position looks a little too shiny, sometimes you just have to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll settle for second.
Ines Arbault, France, 162.5, a jump of 10 for 390. That would be above the 108 good lift points. Yep, that is
Three
extra
white
solid.
lights,
3
50.
white lights, a good lift. She's gonna be world champion. She can add some more kilos onto
Silver.
that deadlift, and she might be looking at a podium in terms of overall best junior lifter with that amount of good lift points.
Number 120,
Yeah,
55.
always good to see the lifters come out. Some of them, like Ines, running her own race and puts her in a very good spot for that. We'll just find out at the end of the week.
So of course we're taking a quick look at deadlift standings. Provisional goal 7s is Herbeau. The projected totals are even more interesting. Look at the
The
43s.
bar is loaded. Come on,
312,
Amy.
317, 327. Who is to come out on top for vice champion in the 43s? I do not know. In the 47s, of course, Herbeau is going to win. Seems like Oddwire is a well set second and Horn a third, but we'll never know. Now Morissette has dropped down to 120. Can the grip hold
The bar
on?
is loaded.
Nope. The
Number
hand gives up on the
66,
bar. Again,
Devancer.
no
120
lift.
pounds on the line for the second
So of
spot.
course she walks out a little bit disappointed.
Going
This is what's
66
horrific with deadlifts
kg.
because it's the
One
final movement. And even
provisional
though you had a
world
great day,
silver.
this is the sour taste that stays in your mouth at the end of the day. You're like, oh, I missed my final 2 deadlifts. Heartbreaking.
Very much so. I can't count how many times I've missed a final deadlift and felt like the world was over. But 5 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I hit a squad PB
Yeah.
earlier, and that's the most grateful thing you can have.
Now into Sanet Ova at Hungary, 135. So she's going with a plus
And the
2.5,
bar is loaded.
PB of
With the
7.5
fifty,
if
the
successful.
Devancer.
She missed 132.5, but 135 is needed for provisional silver over Fallon. So that's the only way to go. Bronze is guaranteed. You take a shot at silver.
Come on, 1 minute.
And when you know what you're pulling for, it adds extra motivation. 2-1, a good lift for Team Hungary. They provisionally surpassed the USA in Fallon.
Both captain answers outmatched in 135 as Hinata Yoshida from Japan. However, Fallon unstoppable. We're gonna attempt change
Attempt change
coming in.
coming in. That was to be expected. We're going to see some more of those. And this one is going to be 135 for Onoka Yoshida, Japan. So it's going to be a retake at 135. She missed because of grip in the second round.
The bar
But
is
just like in the
loaded.
second round, it would give her a provisional podium. So smart choice to retake.
She is challenging for a world rank. Come on. Four knights. Hold it.
See, you correct the grip placement
Three
and
white
3 whites,
knights.
a good lift, successful jump of 12 and a half. Japan and Yoshida are in provisional bronze in the 47s. They're going to force another pull out of Horn.
It's one of those times where a great adjustment happens. It does look like she widened her grip very slightly, and sometimes that extra little distance covered for that knurling just helps the grip so much.
Now a position decider. Brennan Fallon, USA, 137.5. She cannot drop down her attempt because of lot number. Horvat has pulled 135. She's forced to pull 137.5. if she wants to be vice champion of the world behind Van and over all that.
Come on. Come
She keeps
on.
on pulling. It's clean so far, but it doesn't seem that she's going to be able to lock it out. Fallon in bronze, Horvat in silver. Great points for Hungary there.
Yep. Really good to see some of these teams make those calls to collect some early on team points. These will be very valuable by the time Saturday comes around.
It was very nicely played by Team Hungary. They still bumped up by 2.5 after missing in the second, readjusted the grip, noticed lot number was favorable for them against Fallon, used that to the best of their advantage, and they forced a miss out of Fallon. They're in second. Now it is Zoe Shufflebotham, Canada, 137.5. That's quite the jump again.
Yeah, 15 kilo jump, even bigger than her opener.
And unfortunately, that did not
She's
work.
like, why not? Let's ball
140.
out at the end of the day. I've already bombed out, so why not attempt a massive personal best?
Yep, sometimes you just want to go for it. It's fun to just like try something. Maybe this would be a really big PB of some kind if hit, but it's okay.
Now, Emma Hornet is not bumping
The
up
largest
her
score,
attempt.
Emma Horn,
She
Sweden.
has resigned. She's not going to be on the podium in the 47s. It is going to be
Come
Onoka
on.
Yoshida from Japan. Horn is going to be fourth, but this is to extend deadlift bronze. Retaining that medal would be nice.
Deadlift bronze.
And a medal at Worlds is not a prize of consolation. It is very much an achievement.
Come on, lock it out. Lock it out.
It's not there for Horn. Now it's a waiting game.
141 for bronze as well.
Because she
Our
can be surpassed by the next lifter out, Zach.
has to go for
Blathnade
bronze.
O'Dwyer from Ireland. She's had
The
a
largest
fantastic
score
day.
today.
115 in the squat, that's bronze. 65 in the bench, that's
Come
silver.
on.
She is now shooting for another medal, bronze in the deadlift with 140 kilos to stack that medal off the neck of Horn and to extend second in the weight class. 320 and bronze at stake.
Come on. Go. Lock it out. Lock out.
I think they've done it, Zach. Yes, three white
Deadlift
lights.
bronze around
What a
Canada.
day. Great performance, great coaching, everything you would want out of a world championship.
114.5.
Yeah, attempt selection was very on point here. Ireland played their cards correctly, and now you're going to come home with a lot of hardware.
Now, Kaya Kunal Banerjee, India, 142.5. Back to back with the 2.5s. You don't
The
see that
largest
often
score
in the
today.
deadlift event. She's
Come on.
guaranteed a silver in the deadlift. She'll be fifth in the weight class.
Come on. Keep going. Keep going.
I think this one is not gonna go,
And
but she went back to
unfortunately,
back with the grinders. You
missing.
cannot grind three times in a row.
Very hard to do so, a
Missing
big ask,
champion,
but
unfortunately, did
potentially
not
they
qualify
had
with
some
that.
more
She
success in
wants the
training
deadlift
and were
bronze
planning
in
on
the
taking
deadlift.
this or a little bit more.
Tabato
But
141,
on the day, you just have to play the
54.5,
cards that you receive.
20th deadlift junior world record.
And next up, one we did not necessarily see coming. We have Melissa Van from Sweden going for another record. She lost out on the squat record, but to erase it all, 154.5 world junior deadlift record. It belongs to Aileen Cuevas. The Mexican was established last year in San Jose, Costa Rica. So this time we're just chipping it by point 0.5. Lesson learned, and it seems doable based on the speed of the 147.5.
Yep. And in the position that Melissa's in now, the other lifters not being able to catch up, you might as well try and go for this record, make up for the little mistake that you made earlier, and at least go home saying that you've claimed a world
And
record.
the bar
Yeah.
is lowered.
She's already the world champion. She could clinch the milestone of 100 good lift
154.5.
points and a
Atlanta.
world junior deadlift record at 154.5. Melissa Van and Sweden dropping the hammer.
Hey, Victoria. Victoria has
She's
already
attempted
been
it. It was a
disqualified.
believable pull, but
Powerlifting
not there on the day. And it's
was
heartbreaking because you have the
disqualified.
world champion
Was disqualified.
disappointed of her competition.
Powerlifting.
1 for 3 in the squat,
Before this final
solid
segment, your
bench.
world
2 for 3 in
champion,
the deadlift, but losing out on the record. She's not even smiling as she walks up the platform, but she's the world champion.
Yeah, we could potentially think that Melissa had a lot of high expectations coming in, projected first, nominated first, but the cards just don't play right. However, her and her coaching team ended up finishing off well enough to make sure they can at least keep that world championship. She might not be too happy with it right now, but I'm sure in even like 10 minutes time,
Yeah,
she'll be
she will
very
soak it
pleased.
in for sure.
Yeah.
When
the
she'll be on the
bar is
podium,
loaded.
crying because of the
165
anthem, it will soak in. Now, one final pull for the 47s. It is a matched PB attempt for Ines Herbeau. 2.5 more to try and increase her chances at getting a podium overall in the sub-junior women's. She's guaranteed to be world champion. She swept the gold. She's going to walk away with a heavy and blingy neck. Just 2.5 more for 109.38 good lift points. Wow, that is impressive. Finding the energy to lock one final deadlift out. When you know that everything is played out, you're the champion. Hats off to you, Ines Arbo. You are the world champion.
Yeah, an excellent day. Great coaching by the French team. She executed extremely well. We knew that she was most likely going to be running her own race anyway, and yeah, going to be a lot of gold in that suitcase on the way back.
Quick look at the standings. Collecting deadlift gold in the 43s is Melissa Van with 147.5. In the 47s, Ines Herbeau with what you just seen. It is 165. The final placings in the weight class. Bronze in the 43s is Fallon, silver is Horvat, gold is Van. In the 47s, bronze is Yoshida from Japan with a 12.5 kg jump to seal the deal. O'Dwyer from Ireland is vice champion, and Herbo is the world champion of the 47s. And without further ado, we're back in action with the 52s, openers ranging from 117.5 to 170. Easy work for Dorina Boca.
A lot of opener changes, as we can see on our board here.
Yeah, plus 7.5 for Tallulah. That was not expected. 7.5 could have been like a jump for first to second, but maybe this is how they want to play it, or maybe it's a reasonable opener and she's progressed a lot.
Yep, definitely something to look for as she tries to make use of her lot number disadvantage, as she does not have that, and just trying to get that extra lead while she can.
Now into Kalonta Island. That's been very entertaining to watch so far, opening at 130 kilos. Three white lights, a good lift. And you're right, I think our screen is just a little blurry. It might just be a plus 2.5 for Tallulah. Yes, it is, because it's 170. And originally, they had put in 167.5 for both.
Yep,
So
yeah, correct.
it's less aggressive of a call. They're just taking the upper hand,
Yep. Just
which
that
is
smallest chip.
smart.
Yeah, very smart. Makes the biggest difference towards the end of the day. And when you need to learn to strategize, if you're at home watching, you can pull out your good lifts, you can pull out your open powerliftings, and just try to see and learn how to play the board. If you want to build coaching experience, it's good to be able to do that. Watch these competitions and see how everything plays out.
Anna Mosopolo Greece failed to register his squat. Bench 65. She's opening at 137.5. Easy first pull and three
Gegen
whites.
sein Reisebuch. One small thing extra, das ist ein kleiner Auftreten von der Reisebuchart 1 Eisler.
Now to someone that has upped their opener by 10. Now we can confirm is correct.
The
It's
bar is
Elisa
loaded.
Missiano, Italy. So she's now opening at 140 kilos. PB of 150. So reasonable opener. And of course, that changes the forecast. She's now back in forecasted third position.
Yep, previously in fifth, and potentially this was a fake opener, as some teams and athletes like to play it. Good strategy, and we'll see how this one moves.
Looks like an opener.
Yeah, very much so. Definitely could have been one of those fake openers just to kind of like jostle positions, and now they're in a good spot to keep defending their third place.
Yeah, because forecasted fourth is Eisler, but she'd be trailing by 6 by the end of the round. Christian Solheim Solgaard, the Norwegian, forecasted fifth, neck and neck with Eisler. She's opening at 150. I would still consider this a three-way battle for bronze.
Most
The
definitely,
bar is
even though
loaded.
some of these openers did change, the numbers are still a little too close to call. We'll just have to see how these openers move, and then we can potentially play some predictions.
Three white lights, a good lift, opener on the board.
Eisler is loaded. Number 1 is Cooley.
Not much to dissect, technique is tidy, everything sound. Next up is the German Lisa Eisler with 152.5. And you see it on your screen, registered PB of
The bar is
155.
loaded.
This one is gonna get shattered today.
An extremely fast
Gegen
opener.
sein Reisebuch.
Definitely looking for more. Going to be a big deadlift PB, and that's already a 12.5 kilo total PB.
Like we said, we'll take that any day, especially on the world stage. And we're more than halfway done with the openers.
The bar
Next
is
up is
loaded.
Long Tse Hong Kong, 160 kilos. Opening above her personal best. I would probably bomb out if I did that.
Yeah, I think for us, it's pretty hard to open up at a PB these days. I don't think I've done that since maybe my second comp.
Are we powerlifting uncles? What's happening?
Some might say that.
Let's see how it moves. A PB of 5 and PB total of 20. I mean, it does not move like a personal
Lisa
best. I can
Eisler
guarantee you
PB
that. 3 whites, a good lift.
155. The PB
Not
total
often, not uncommon to see juniors open up with some PBs. They have a lot of potential progression to build through.
The bar is
Some of them
loaded.
might be going up in weight classes or just so new to the sport that everything and every comp becomes a chance for a PB.
Ah, the good old days.
It's nice to be young.
Abby Cooley, Great Britain, 162.5. In the middle of the pack, forecasted 6th in the weight class.
Gegen sein
Nice
Reisebuch.
opener, 3 whites.
55 Toronto von USA Open ist das Final. The bar is loaded.
The bar is loaded for Lola Sherami, USA 165. Not the best of days, especially in the squat, only going 1 for 3. Managed to bench 67.5. Slightly wobbly at lockout, which made for 3 blues, no lift.
Yep.
She's a strong lifter, but just an untidy lifter.
Yeah, you can see that she is moving a lot of weight very, very well. Some of these little technicalities could, again, just be nerves or just being very excited. Not uncommon to see a fast deadlift get a little bit of what I call a speed wobble at the
Yeah.
top.
And keep in mind, these are juniors. They're not the most experienced
The bar
lifters you've ever
is
seen.
loaded.
Pauline Van der France 167.5, 415.5. She would be second by the end of the round if Tallulah is successful. That is a solid first pull. 3 whites, a good lift. I remember at French Junior Nationals, she pulled her first 2 attempts conventional and had to switch to sumo because she's experienced struggle with the deadlift, pain, but now she's back to sumo in full effect and she's looking strong.
Yep, looks very efficient. How long ago was French Nationals?
It was in May, I think, around May. But her lockout looked a lot worse conventional than sumo, and supposedly she's stronger sumo too. Now the final opener, 170 for Tallulah. What is going on, Zach?
Interesting. That just looks like she might have rushed her setup, lost a bit of positioning. Her reaction after the lift looks like she was a little surprised. So it's probably going to be the smart play to take the reattempt. See, the bar gets away from her a little bit there. Not something that you want on the deadlift.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read those lips because it was clear to see what she said, but you can figure that out at home. So immediate retake for Tallulah, and just like Lola Sherami too, we're gonna have 2 retakes in the second round. Varnero leads the 52s, and second Misiano. In third, Heisler. In the hunt is Solgard, and the second round starts with a jump of 10 for Boca, Canada. 3 white
Thank you,
lights.
Martial Arts, and this is 145 at the bar. Next up is Atalanta and Powerlift, followed by Triple Lift and Beyond.
Would you be comfortable with adding another 7.5 there, or would you go for more like a 5?
We're at this point in the competition when you just want to round out your day and you're not really fighting for a position. I would rather take the 5 kilo dump for any of my lifters, round out your total a little bit more. Even if it's not going to be a PB total, it looks a little bit bigger on paper. And finishing up with a successful lift
The bar
always makes you
is
feel a little bit
loaded.
happier too.
But if a strong-headed one wanted the 7, would you grant it to him?
Depends how much they can convince me. And with deadlift third attempt changes, I'll often just put in a number, we'll discuss it, and if they can convince me or give me a reason to add that extra 2.5, I'll give it to them as long as they know it's their decision.
Fair enough. Now into a big jump, a 15 for Calonta. But it doesn't seem to slow her down that much. 3 white lights.
Yep. And all
145
smiles again. She's been looking like she's having a lot of fun on the day. Some little hiccups in the squat earlier, but she's been bouncing back and having a good time.
She has a personal best of 163, so we might see back-to-back 15s.
Could be.
Now 145 for Motsupulu. Looking to match her personal best.
The bar. That is unfortunately no lift.
Unfortunately, the wedge did not go through. Might have been a little too close to the bar at the start.
Yeah, potentially. And you see that happen a lot with sumo lifters. The hips rise just a little bit too early, maybe earlier than she anticipated, and that changes the amount of positioning that you can get and the amount of push you can use with those legs.
So maybe a little more distance and more patience off the floor.
Most likely, yes. And knowing that you're coming out for the third attempt, you just have to find that right
Bar is
spot,
loaded.
take your time. You've got plenty of time. You have a minute out there, and just round out the day strong.
Now, Elisa Misiano, Italy, 147.5 to extend that second position to 401. Three white lights, a good lift.
57.5
401 is going to
for the
force
bar.
two more pulls out of Heisler and Soul Guard if they want to step on the podium.
Really interesting to see Misiano continue to assert her dominance, just making lifts, and it is going to provide a challenge for the other two. So I'm excited to see how they all react and respond.
Next up is Solgar, Norway, 157.5, jump of 7.5.
The bar is loaded. Mark
That would have been nice because it would have been provisional podium with, of course, Talula
55.5
yet to be on the board, but she
for
misses.
47 lap.
And it seems like a strength issue.
Yeah, this one, maybe just towards the end of the day, she starts to feel a little bit more gassed for the deadlifts, and hopefully she can find some extra energy in the warm-up room. Maybe need to have a bit of a sip of water or a snack, and then just get more amped up for that last
The
one.
bar is loaded.
Now onto the German, Lisa Heisler, a jump of 10 for a very provisional bronze medal in the deadlift event. And to try and stay on the podium with, of course, Talula yet to score.
Green white
Three
light,
white lights, a good
165 for
lift.
the
What
USA.
are the odds that she can retain a podium? Because that second attempt did not look particularly difficult.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where if you're an opposing coach out the back and you see this happen, you might need to consider playing conservative to defend from that. If
The bar
you're
is
on Team
loaded.
Germany side, you're very much looking forward to seeing what number we want to put on the board,
Yeah,
challenge a position, and go from there.
and you put in an enormous placeholder, so you just apply pressure. You put in 180 and see what happens. Well, they've put in 175. That
Yeah.
works too. Now, a retake from the first round. Lola Cherami got 3 blues. Just needs to refine that technique. Weight was not an issue. No wobble this time. 3 whites, she
Green
secures a
white light
total, but she's in
position,
8th position on the
167.5
forecast.
for Team
6th
USA.
as we speak.
For powerlifting
Yeah, but good
highlights
to be on the
Norway.
board and to make sure that you can register a total. Much better balance, as you said. And yeah, at that lockout, it can be very tricky for the deadlift, but she seemed to have controlled it really, really well.
Next up is a poised version of Tse Long Q. We haven't seen that for the whole
The
day.
bar is loaded.
It's 167.5 for provisional deadlift silver. Do you think she's just a little more calm for deadlifts, or maybe she feels the pressure of the medal?
I think the pressure is definitely there. Um, when you are out there having fun, like I usually do on squat and bench, I'm more smiles, more happy, and then come deadlift time, it's time to really play the game.
Solid second pull from
Please
10,
watch
2 to
video
1. A
of
good
the
lift,
exercise
provisional deadlift
by
silver.
deadlift by number 80.
Based on the replay, are you worried about the red for lack of lockout?
I don't think so. This looks okay.
Bar is
I
loaded.
often find that with mixed grip, the overhand shoulder can look a little bit more forward.
Yeah.
But if both seem behind that imaginary projection, it's most of the time going to be fine.
Now title contender Tallulah Royston Battaglia from Great Britain retaking 170. It is much better this time. Three white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, more composed, probably just like a little bit of a brain hiccup setting up for that first one. As you can see, that moved extremely fast. So now she'll get to load whatever she wants.
And what I like from Team France there is just putting in a jump of 2.5, retake the lead by the
The
chip
bar
you've
is
collected
loaded.
during the squat event. No need to push too far, too early.
And considering the speed of her opener, this will definitely just solidify that first. And again, she has lot number over Tallulah, and they'll just end up deciding what they want to load later on.
Yeah. So for provisional deadlift silver and to regain first position, as the French
Please
coach
watch
says,
back
that is
video
excellent.
of
Three
the
whites,
exercise
Varno is back in the
by
lead.
deadlift by Mr.
To be honest, by the
Bar
looks
is
of it, I said
loaded.
Tallulah has more room, but she's going to be shooting in the dark. She does not have body weight advantage. And once Pauline knows what she needs, it's going to be easier to find that motivation to see, like, okay, I need 182 but to be world champion. Let's just load that.
With confidently being in second and you're only fighting for first, I think in this position you have to play aggressive, load what you can to
Yeah.
challenge the opposition. Because, yeah, you can't go any more backwards.
And the final attempt of this round is Abby Cooley, 172.5, jump of 10, nice and secure, three whites.
135 bar with
She's
number
in a provisional deadlift gold, but that goal is going to be pushed even further. It's going to be in the 180s probably.
Most likely. It's really cool seeing all of these top end deadlifts being well over that 3 times bodyweight mark too. Um, Although they might be juniors, they're very, very strong, and you can see why.
So if you look at the deadlift podium, in provisional bronze is Varno, provisional silver with that same best attempt of 170 is Tallulah because she's lighter, and then Abby Cooley with 172.5. Quick look at the standing. Misiano holds on to bronze. In silver is Tallulah. In gold by point
the bar is
0.5 is
loaded.
Varno.
The Dorina Boca
Hunting,
and the bar
Heisler, and Soul God. Those projected totals are probably gonna change based on what the others are doing. Attempt change on attempt change. It happens during those third round. Coaches playing the game, and we love to see that. Looking forward to it. It starts with Dorina Boca, Canada, 135.
please
Three
watch
white
back
lights,
video
a well selected third. That's 320 for Dorina Boca.
Yep. And what a way to finish with that 7.5 kilo jump. Definitely knowing that, hey, like I want to go out on my shield and make sure I can get the biggest deadlift that I can.
Next up is Anna Mutsapoulou, Greece. Failed 145 in the second round. She's retaken it in the
the
third.
bar is
This
loaded.
would be a match personal best. Multiple issues, look like a strength issue, a grip issue, maybe a bit of a misgroove. What can you do? You bumped out on squat. Motivation is long gone, but you need that one final lift. What do you say as a coach?
I would tell my lifter, you have one more attempt, let's make it count, let's have some fun, and show the world what you can do.
No lift. I think she might have torn her hand.
162.5
Yeah,
bar
she's
with
looking at a lot, and those big deadlifters, sometimes those hands just tear.
4
The
lifts
skin
for
can be
each
quite
side of the
sensitive,
leg as opposed
and it happens to
bar
everyone at some
with
point.
And she's 21 years young. She'll still be a junior for 2 more years.
with the
You'll definitely see her back here at some point.
Yeah.
Heisler
next up to extend the bronze even further, but too far to make a push for silver. Elisa Misiano, the squat world record holder with 163.5, is looking to end her day with
The bar is
152.5, a
loaded.
personal best
Lisa
of two and a
Misiano
half.
is 152.5. She will
She's
take
done
the
everything she
podium
could, but Tallulah and
and
Putin
the
are too
bronze
strong.
medal in the
But a podium
52s.
finish for Italy would be
Come
nice.
on.
Uh-oh,
That is
that is a no lift for
136.
Misiano, and Germany is well within striking distance. Lisa Eisler completely shattered 162.5, and she's gonna need something along the lines of 170 for that podium. If I'm Misiano, I'm gonna just go back in the warm-up room and cross my fingers, my legs, and everything, and just wait to see if the events turn out in my favor. Now Zu Kalonta, not going back to back with the 15s, but looking to add another 10. That's 155. She'll be 7th in the deadlift event,
The
9th
bar
in the
is
weight
loaded.
class.
Come on. Warm up. Three
Strong
white
finish,
lines for
3
finish.
whites.
Yep,
157.5.
great way to end her day,
The
and she's
bronze
quite happy
medal
about
winner.
that. Um, yeah, like we saw earlier with her second score, a little bit of a hiccup, but since then, mostly good attempt selections and always smiles from her, which is great to see.
Now to someone that we thought could have competed for a podium but failed
The
her
bar
second.
is
It
loaded.
is Christian Solem Sogard. She's retaking 157.5 for a
Ariane
provisional
Piquet.
5th position in the weight class. Even though this is not the podium, top 5 in the world is quite the achievement. Might as well secure the attempt.
Come on. Medal
Just
supposed to
runs out his
be
steam at the end of the day. No
Ice
lift for no
bronze
weight.
medal.
1 for 3, surprisingly, in the deadlift event.
158.
385 in total. Provisional
Lisa
6
Eisler
forecasted
is
7th
weighing
position in the class.
167.5 kilos. Got a 402.5 for the podium.
And an attempt change as came in for Team Germany and Lisa Eisler. She, quote unquote, only needs 167.5 to surpass Misiano. Imagine what that would be for Team Italy. They were off to a horse start with a squat world record.
And the bar is
Solid
loaded.
bench, a medal, silver
167.5
medal
for the
even. And
bronze
if you
medal
consider
goes to
what
Lisa
Lisa has done,
Eisler of
4th
Germany.
in the squat,
Oh, he's
4th
hugging.
in the bench, but she's a well-rounded athlete. She's around that area everywhere. Misiano has lost on too much ground in the deadlift. She's almost losing out on the podium. This is the decider. Lisa Eisler, Germany, 167.5 to drop down Italy to 4th and to climb on the podium. And she might have had more had she needed it. 3 white lights.
Is on the
Misiano dropped
podium.
down to 4th. Heisler in 3rd.
Bronze
Yeah,
medal
excellent
for
execution
Team
here, as you
Italy.
mentioned before. Fourth on the squat,
160.5
fourth on the bench,
weighted at
currently fourth on the deadlift. That is yet to change. So being quite good overall pays off. You don't need to collect those individual medals to be
Exactly.
around in the game. And yeah, she will be in that bronze medal position.
It's a 3
The
movement
bar is
sport.
loaded.
You need to be well rounded.
160.5
She's 4th in every event. And with 402.5, she beats the odds. She was nominated 7th with 375 in the weight class. Talk about an underdog story. Now to Tselong Q, Hong Kong, 172.5. Looking for a deadlift medal that's provisional silver with that jump of 5. looks like she's channeling her inner Jurin Skingamu.
Oh, lock it out.
Unfortunately, it's not there on the day. That's 375 and locked in 8th position in the weight class.
Bye-bye.
Now onto one athlete that really had a poor day compared to the expectations.
The bar
Lola
is loaded.
Shirami,
For
USA.
provisional technique gold,
Squatted
Lola
135,
Shirami,
bench
USA.
67.5. She's looking at 172.5 for provisional deadlift gold on body weight. But we have 3 more pulls after, so not even in guaranteed medal. Just needs to control that lockout, Zach. No wobbles.
And control it she does.
Yeah, she's done it. 3 white lights. Now she just has to wait.
It's not over. Duty attempts remain with
But we
maximum
have some monster
capacity.
pullers. And who's adapting? We have 3 more pulls. Is it GB for the win, or is it GB and their other athlete for provisional gold?
Yeah, there's a couple of decisions that you make as a coach when you have multiple athletes on the same team making
The
decisions.
And it
177.5
looks like
for
it is
Tallulah
Tallulah dropping
decides
down to
to
177.5. But it's also maybe just a game to see if France reacts immediately, so we'll have to wait. Spotters are loading it, but everything is subject to change until our chief referee says that the bar is loaded. But it would mean Tallulah, then Abby Cooley, then Varnero.
The bar is
There it
loaded.
is. The bar is loaded for Tallulah, so we're going to be paying close
177
attention to that
director
as well as the
52,
scoreboard to see if France's
177.5
adapt.
14 over. Run out.
Tallulah for provisional goal in both the deadlift event and the weight class. A solid start to the deadlift. I mean, she's done her part of the job. 3 white lights, a good lift, but what a stressful position to be in. Of course, Team France has adapted. They've dropped down by 2.5, but Pauline Varnero needs to pull 7.5 more than what she previously did for the win. Not a guaranteed pull by any means. Tallulah could very much be the champion.
Yep, interesting position to be in. And after that attempt, you could see that she had another 2.5 to 5 maybe. So this decision making will just come down to what the coaches saw the other competitors do, decide what's worth the risk. So we'll see if Vanero can come out and make the challenge.
So do you think they gauged Tallulah's ability and Pauline to decide the 177.5?
I do think so. If I was a coach in this
The bar
position,
is
I would
loaded.
be trying to take my minimum to
Hey!
secure the position. But sometimes you have to be a little bit greedy, but also realistic.
Let's see. It is the winning pool for Pauline Varnero, France 177.5 to be world champion. Let's wait for the lights. No lift, lack of lockout. If I'm the coach, I'm going up to the jury to try and challenge that. What could not be locked out? Is it the shoulders, the hips, or the knees?
I think I saw the bar slipping out of the hands, which is why she got the reds.
On the replay, looks better than in real time. They are still discussing it. 2 jury members are arguing in favor of the lift. Jury is overturned the lift. It is a good lift for Varnero. The world title goes to France and Pauline. Wow! And this is why we have a jury, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what a finish. You could see that, you know, the platform refs saw something a little bit different, but our replays can be quite more reliable. That's why we have the jury to help make the decisions, and it creates some excitement for the end of competition.
And the final pool, Abby Cooley from Great Britain to snag that gold medal. She's out of the podium so far, 180. I think she's done it. That's going to be gold to GB in the deadlift event. 3 white lights. Zach, this class has been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, great position to be in for us as commentators to get to enjoy the lifting straight up. And yeah, an exciting finish. Something that I wasn't expecting was how close it would be with the same attempts having to be taken. But that's sport and that's powerlifting with only a half kilo separating first and second. Not often that that happens.
Yep. The thing is, she's not walking away with the world record, but she's utilized that chip for the world title. And if you look at the final results in the weight class, coming back from 7th position on the nominations, but finishing on the podium is Lisa Heisler with 402.5. The unfortunate Tallulah in silver with 425. And the world champion from France, Pauline Varnereau, with 425.5. This class has lived up to the hype. It's been great to have you by my side to commentate that session. Hopefully, we'll have you back in the future. And for those watching at home, in just a few minutes' time, it'll be the medal ceremony. Thank you, Zach. And the next fight is at 4 in the afternoon, 53 and 59. Are you looking forward to that?
I am looking forward to that one.
It's going to be a great one. Be back with us at 4 for the 43 and 59s.
squat silver with 115 kilos goes to Melissa Van, Sweden. And squat gold with 117.5 kilos goes to Zanit Horvat, Hungary. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you. Moving on with the bench press. Thank you. And the bench press, bronze medal with 60 kilos goes to Zanit Horvat, Hungary. Hungary. Bench press silver with 65 kilos goes to Brennan Fallon, USA. Bench press gold with 70 kilos goes to Amy Morissette, Canada. Thank you. Congratulations. Moving on to deadlifts. Bronze medal in deadlift with 132.5 goes to Brennan Fallon, USA. Deadlift silver with 135 goes to Zanit Horvat, Hungary. And deadlift gold with 147.5 goes to Melissa Van, Sweden. Congratulations once again. Now for the total weight. With 312.5 kilos, bronze medal goes to Brennan Fallon, USA. With the same total in lighter bodyweight and 312.5, silver medal in the title of the vice champion goes to Zanit Horvat, Hungary. And with a total of 320 kilos, your 43 kilo junior world champion is Melissa Van, Sweden. Please stand if you are able to for the Swedish national anthem. Congratulations once again, thank you. Moving on to the 47s. In the sport event, with 115 kilos, bronze medal goes to Blaine O'Dwyer, Ireland. Silver medal with 117.5 kilos goes to Honoka Yoshida, Japan. gold with 90 kilos goes to Ines Elbo, France. Congratulations, thank you. Moving on to deadlifts. Bronze medal in deadlifts with 140 kilos goes to Blonde O'Dwyer, Ireland. Deadlift silver, also with 140 kilos with light on body weight, goes to Priya Kunal Banerjee, India. Deadlift gold with 165 kilos goes to Ines Elbo, France. Congratulations, thank you. Now the total rankings. Bronze medal with a total of 310 kilos goes to Honoka Yoshida, Japan. With a total of 320 kilos, the silver medalist and vice champion is Blonde O'Dwyer, Ireland. And with a total of 392.5 kilos, the 47-kilo junior world champion is Ines Elbo, France. Please stand when you are able to for the half series. Congratulations once again. Another round of applause for the 43 and 47 athletes. Easy, take them around the platform. Please get ready. We are proceeding immediately with the ceremony for the from the 52 kilo juniors. Okay, starting with the squats. Bronze medal with 157.5 kilos goes to Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain. Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain, squat bronze. Squat silver with 163 kilos goes to Pauline Varnero, bronze. Squat gold with a new junior world record of 163.5 goes to Elisa Isiano, Italy. Congratulations, thank you. Moving on to bench press. Bronze medal in bench press with 90 kilos goes to Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain. Bench press silver with 90 kilos goes to Elisa Isiano, Italy. Bench press gold with 95 kilos goes to Christiane Sørgaard, Norway. Congratulations, thank you. In the deadlift event, bronze medal with 177.5 kilos goes to Pauline Varnero, bronze. Deadlift silver with 177.5 kilos goes to Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain. And with the final for the session, deadlift gold with 180 was secured by Abby Cooley, Great Britain. Congratulations, thank you. In the total rankings, bronze medal with 402.5 kilos goes to Lisa Heisler, Germany. Silver medal in high low device champion with 425 kilos goes to Tallulah Royston Battaglia, Great Britain. And with a total of 425.5, your junior 52 kilo world champion is Pauline Varnero, bronze. Please stand up if you're able to, for la Marseillaise.